Meow, meow, meow.
Hey.
Hey.
Get it.
Got the money.
Yeah. They looking funny. I got the money. I got your honey. I got the bunny. Eating them carrots. That's all I got.
The bugs. He got the bunny. But you won't talk about money for A.
Cause I don't got none. Hey. But I wish I did though.
Hello. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Almost Never podcast. I'm your co-host, Josh.
Yo. Trey, what's going on, everybody? Hey.
I'm a co-host of a co-host. That's a co-host. I'm Sean.
So you're a co-host.
Coco.
All right, Coco.
Coco the host.
How y'all doing? It's warm.
It's chicken shawarma today.
In this studio. It's warm outside. It's warm everywhere. That fucking hurricane was a big old scam. But how's the rest of your guys' week? Adjusting to the aftermath.
My week's been good, dude. I was dead last week. It sucked. Like when we were recording on Friday, I was feeling like I got like something. I took a COVID test. It was negative, but I feel good now. It took me a few days though. I feel good.
Do you think the COVID test was like wrong? Because you were clearly like dead for like 5 days.
It's a good possibility, but I took it at face value.
I'm good. I'm gonna sneeze on you real quick.
I, for the one time in my life, trusted the government.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a hot take for you. It's a hot take for all of us.
I wanted it to be negative, so hey, it was easy.
Oh, you willed it.
Yeah,
you manifested
yeah.
a negative test.
Yeah, if you believe it, it will come.
I don't even know if I did it right.
It was a birth test.
Birth control negative, or pregnancy test negative.
Like I did it.
You said it's an oral test, or a nasal test. I
Yeah,
thought
you're
it was
peeing on it. Why are you peeing on that stick?
What is it?
Anal.
Like since I gotta wait a couple minutes, gotta pee on the stick.
Why you smelling it?
I'm just making sure I'm negative.
Oh man, how was your week, Josh?
It's pretty good. Speaking COVID tests, I went down to Menifee last weekend to surprise B Murder for his 40th birthday. Shout out Brandon.
Midnight.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
40.
He looks great. Beautiful kids. There's a lot of fucking kids out there. I did not know what kind of party it was. I thought it was like I brought all these drugs out there and shit. But then I was like, "Do you want to do any of these?" He's like, "God, no. That sounds terrifying." And then
the kids.
fucking Ryan
said no.
I mean, it was a nice little Euro reunion, Italy reunion last weekend. You guys got to see Ryan for a
Yeah, it
little
was
bit.
cool. We were on the same spot.
He was coughing and sneezing the whole time. He's like, allergies. These allergies are killing me. And in my head, I was like, are you sure that's not like fourth wave COVID or something like that? What is the
Kelly
allergies?
Slater, bro? I don't know how to read the tides.
Fucking, but like, yeah, I was in a car with him for like an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. He was coughing and sneezing. I was like right there. I think Phil and Neil both came down with a little something.
I know Neil had it. Yeah.
And
He
then-
did?
Yeah, he hit me up. He was like, my back is killing me. What kind of stretches can I do? And I was like, well, what happened? He's like, I got COVID. I'm like, stretches are not going to help you, my brother.
Nothing.
Stretch
help
your
you
ass
now.
to the doctor.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
Get to stepping.
Get some antibiotics.
I was like, just like, you should drink some like bone broth and like sleep.
What is that? Can you make any kind of broth from bones?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the bone broth is bone broth, but you can use any bones to make bone broth.
Is there
Bone
any
Thugs and Harmony.
specific like
Easy.
babies are the best or anything like that?
What'd you say?
Like old, young. What are we talking about? Baby veal. Like,
I mean,
what
are
kind
you
of bones
like, are you harvesting these organs to make it?
Yeah, I was like,
what kind of like bones?
What are we getting? What conversation?
You can use chicken bones. You can use the
you
rotisserie
bones.
chicken.
Like, yeah, if you get a rotisserie, once you peel everything off, leave it in there.
Question: can you use exoskeletons?
I mean, if you want
Yeah,
to try
like a
to
crab
put some beetles
broth?
in there,
Or
Just
that.
opposing something new.
I've never tried it. You should try that, and you can tell us about it next week.
So I just gotta boil a crab, but not eat it to drink the juice.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
That's like how you made. It's like stock.
And what
Is
does
that
do for you?
bisque?
That's a probably.
Is that what?
I don't know. I think
crab
doesn't that
bisque
milk
is?
have like milk in or something.
Maybe. So like when you like if you take like
You get the essence of the animal.
beef bones, well, you're taking out like the marrow and you're taking all the nutrients of
you're-
the.
I got you, I
so
got you,
yeah,
I got you.
so you're actually
It's like a
pulling
layer.
out like
Yeah.
like all the nutrients from there, plus the protein from it and everything like
I heard
that.
the bones have the most, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Some dudes grind up the bones from like chickens and stuff and put
Yeah.
it in like
Well, then like you can
sauces.
still do so. Like after I used
But don't you got to cook them?
beef bones.
Kind of
Yeah,
like how you do.
for-
You
for a
gotta
few
like
hours.
decarb
Yeah.
it.
So you can do a couple different ways. You can blanch them first and then cook them. Like I did. I think I had them in like for 450 for like 40 minutes kind of thing.
Or until golden brown.
So yeah, basically. Well, then like I cut up different veggies in there because you're gonna also use the veggies to pull out the nutrients from all of them. And then yeah, it's just I did a slow boil or a simmer for like 20 hours.
Fudge.
Yeah, well, I had to go to work and I couldn't, and so that was the extra. It only has to be like 12, but
It's a slow burn, baby.
yeah, it was. I was just hoping that the house didn't burn
You
down.
out there getting your voodoo on, your witchcraft,
Yeah,
your pot and kettle.
basically toiling and trouble.
Yeah, what is it? Your witches?
Boil, toil,
Witch's brew?
Yeah, your witches brew.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then after I was done,
I'm sorry, Warlocks brew. Or, hey,
Yeah.
whatever you want to be.
Whatever you want to be.
wizard, warlock. I bring some dead alive. That's cool. Warlocks are always cooler.
Oh, you're a necromancer, aren't you?
Yeah,
I'm a necro.
Philiac. You didn't say no.
And I didn't say yes.
But yeah, I got negative. Shout out to my immune system for that.
You were negative too?
Negative.
that's good.
I believed it. So
You willed it.
well, because I had
Lord knows it.
I was hanging out with Marlene the next night, and then she had a 2-day, 12-hour day shoot with like this big client at her work. And I was like, "Fuck! If I'm positive, then she's that's
were
kind of that
hoping,
throws
yeah, you
her.
were
And that
hoping.
throws. I was
You're
manifesting.
willing, yeah.
I was manifesting that negative
Yep.
thing. But yeah, it was pretty good in between now and then. Saw you guys fuck with Sudan Archives.
What is that? Enlighten me.
She's on Stone's Throw. She's a violinist, actually. She's pretty dope. Play
No,
some
I thought
tracks
we were
after
talking
this.
about geological finds or something.
Oh
Not a musical
no,
artist.
no, I did not go on any geological excavations.
So Sudan, what?
Sudan Archives.
No, I'll check it out though.
She played at this new venue, kind of outside downtown called the Bellwether. First month it's been open. It's a nice venue. It's weird to see like venue
down,
restrooms. Well, they have like at Glass
Like a
House how they
balcony?
have that balcony thing. They have that circles around the whole thing, and there's like a little patio outside area, smoking patio outside. But like a big but small like venue space, kind of felt like a big Glass House kind of.
Okay, so maybe a little more than 1,000.
Yeah, probably like 2K
Yeah.
cap or something. It was really nice. They only had like the 2 PAs like on each side, so the sound like I'm sure maybe they were just getting the levels in, but like it's like it looked like those are small. What are they called? I don't have
Reference
Tay here.
monitors?
Like
Or-
the
Yeah, it
like
depends
the
on which ones they
the
are.
speakers
The
on the
hanging?
Yeah.
Definitely not reference.
The
but-
ones the dude from Rat designed
The
that
house?
whole thing. He was the first one to do that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Because he's a big sound designer
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Speaker designer.
yeah, yeah.
yeah. and
Shout
then-
out, Rat.
Shout out. Yeah, sometimes you just got to change
Yeah.
fields.
Yeah.
Same field,
Changes.
just
Different. Same.
same but different.
But different.
Yeah, then last night went to a film festival for LA-based like short filmmakers in downtown. That was dope.
Raising Cane's,
Oh, dude, I love their sauce.
it's really good.
It's the only
But yeah, it
with
was
the
like
bread.
Marlene worked on
Raising
this
Cane's
movie,
Festival.
Out of This World. Shout out, that was a great flick.
That's cool.
Got it. I like
How
actually
big was the crew?
pretty big. It was actually like very elaborate. A lot of great like set design, lighting, grips, like the whole 9 yards. Like they had credits. There was like some of those short films.
I have no idea what actually goes into a film when I think about it. Like I know like the basis of
Mm-hmm.
like, but I know there's so many more people to like the pieces and parts of
Yeah.
it. You said it was just like it's not necessarily for revenue or bringing in.
Yeah, because you don't. There's like no money in it. What she and Aaliyah, the director, were explaining, it's like it's kind of like for the art. It's for the story. Like a lot of the time, like you don't. It's hard to get a film onto the festival circuit because like if you go to Sundance and you want to be in there, you have to wait back to see if you're accepted or not before you can try and like apply to other film festivals. And like a lot of the time the goal is to like make that short film into a feature film, so longer, bigger budget, more crew and everything. But it's for the art, and it's only in it's like every month a lot of cool films, and it's only like $10 a ticket. You can stay the whole time, which sounds like a lot, but it's
in
cool.
that sense, it's kind of like a music showcase to me.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Oh, exactly.
They kind of like labels are kind of getting into that now, where they're doing monthly showcase of potential signees, and it's basically they're trying to feel out, crowd response. Obviously, no one knows any of these people.
Yeah.
But you're trying to see what you're potentially investing
Working
in.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild to me how cheap that is to have a night where like you're going at like that's a night out. Like you're paying $10 and you got a night out.
Yeah.
Where like there's like I don't know, I'm thinking about like art shows or even like breathwork things that are like the ticket's like $50.
But I'm helping you.
I'm just saying, like that's really
potentially.
That's just a really like unique scenario where somebody is showing you and offering you their craft for entertainment and for like an experience, and you're getting it for $10.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you're
like
kind of saying how it's the same thing. When how is there a difference?
What do you mean?
Because it's the same thing. Like
I didn't know what I said, so I just
like
saying for breathwork
you
thing,
can go to an experience.
Yeah.
Of let's say a creatives for $10, where that seems like a price point that's unfeasible anymore.
It totally does. It seems like $10 to me seems wild.
I guess
But to his
yeah,
point,
cheap.
they're not trying to guess.
they're not like
money.
they know that they're not going to make
Yeah.
money off of it. It's like optics,
But like
and
they're
just
getting optics. That's what I'm saying. Like I would think that there'd be more people that are trying to break into anything, like artists. Like if you're like there are many people that paint or take photos, and like so a lot of times like shows are free, right?
Yeah,
Usually, but then like a lot of times like they're not, and it's like that's kind of wild when. In the artist perspective, maybe you only have one person, which is actually the artist that's on the canvas, where like with this film, there's like 10, 20, I have no idea.
Yeah, there was like, I think total, probably
just,
like 30 films that day that you can get. I think you could probably, for $10, you could see the whole thing.
That's wild to me. You could
and
see
it's
all
like,
that.
yeah, it's like, whereas the artist, you say you go to a gallery showing, it's like for the most part, the work of like one person. Whereas this is like hundreds, if not maybe even thousands of people that are working on all these things.
Does the space allow you to like talk to people
afterwards?
They have a panel, yeah.
Yeah, there. I thought there would be like a Q&A, but they brought the directors up at the end, and
that's cool.
Like they're just like answering some basic questions, but because it's like they're trying to get as many like the schedule, so they're trying to like.
That's probably what the schmoozing is though. After everything,
because I was like,
want to rub elbows.
The interactive side, because I do know I was going to say the one thing about like I'm just going to take back to the breathwork thing. It is giving an experience, but there's also like the community aspect of it,
and it's repeatable. You could do that every weekend. Whereas like
with
film,
that you couldn't do it.
like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great date idea, especially if your girlfriend's on the marquee and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool.
You better go.
Yeah,
Be a bad look.
Yeah,
babe. I don't feel like it's not really my thing.
I got a migraine.
Well, you better suck it up with some Tylenol.
And suck it up. I did.
Suck it up the nose. You ever done Tylenol?
Not that.
On weed.
On weed. Oof. Imagine smoking Tylenol.
I can't say I have.
Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Sounds terrible. That does sound dangerous.
Sounds chemically.
Sounds like something. Yeah, you could. Who put what in here? Josh, I'm looking at you.
And not Cocoa Puffs. It's Tai Puffs.
Ooh.
How was your weekend? Didn't you do like host a circle or practice last night?
Yeah. My week was. It's been good. I've been fighting some pretty wild chronic pain, but I'm getting like better at it, which is good. Shout out to anybody who deals with chronic pain. That's no joke. Like,
were you Rocky or Creed?
Both.
Rocky, because I don't want to die.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah. If he dies, he dies.
But shout out to you. You said you paid off all your medical debt recently, which is no small feat. In
that was
world.
a couple, many thousands. So that was really good to feel. I paid off medical debt. I sold my tickets to LAFC versus Miami.
You doubled up and paid your season.
Anybody want to take a guess at how much one ticket was?
Yeah, I take a guess. $8.75.
Lower, but close.
Oh, I want to say about $1,300 for the pair. Did you sell both, or are you going to
it was
more?
$7.85 a ticket.
Basically, yeah.
And how much do season tickets cost?
$1,400. and I got 1,400.
Yeah.
Over 1,400. But yeah, it was crazy, and I forgot I put them on there. I put them up there. They were for 1,000. I was like, oh, no one's gonna go for 1,000, so I'm just gonna go just under 800, so 790, and all of a sudden,
I can catch the game on my phone.
Straight up, I was like,
It is what it is.
Yeah, I was like, if somebody really wants to pay $790 for 2 tickets, power to them.
Myself, in my limited financial capability, I would pay $500 for a ticket.
That's different
To see him play.
Yeah, and like for people that are huge fans, I was like, yeah, I would understand that. That's why I was tripping out when really like paying basically $800 for one ticket to me is like. And you guys have both been in my seats. They're not bad. They're great seats. You can see everything, but you're not sitting like on the
Ain't no
field or
MLS
anything.
game worth that unless I'm sitting in courts or
It's the pitch side.
But you're seeing Barca.
Yeah, you are. You are seeing Barca. You are seeing like Alba and Busquets and Messi, and also
Is Iniesta there yet?
No. But you have the old coach from Barca, and yeah, it's an exciting team. But I was just like stoked on that money. And then yesterday, like what you said, led our men's group down in San Diego. Just a little day thing. It was really cool. About 12 dudes. They're just like really interesting because you get a bunch of guys that aren't like each other really at all. It's all different like walks of life kind of thing, and I think it really helps people realize that like all of like a lot of times like their fears or like their uncomfortable sides of themselves are not unique. Like it's like, oh, everyone feels this way.
You're not alone, as cliche as that sounds.
Like a 55-year-old guy and a 27-year-old guy will both have the same thing in common with something like that. And it's just cool to see that because then you see like people's like shoulders relax. You see people actually like kind of chill out and like on like how they'll be hard on themselves. And I think too for like especially older guys, maybe not as much. People in their 20s and 30s might not connect to this, but the older you get, it's really a lot harder for guys, I think, to meet other guys that they can like chum with and just like actually like shoot the shit. And like that's directly related to like health and longevity in men. It's like if you get older and you don't have anybody, generally men die earlier from lack of connection. So
isn't that something like if you get cut off from human contact or like you don't have enough affection, communication, like it takes years off your life?
Yeah.
And it's not even stress, it's like depression, right?
Depression.
It's like a donut. Supposedly a donut's a day.
Oh.
I was like, the circle of life?
Dude, I was trying to figure out how like a hole missing. I was like, okay.
It's like a donut. Eating
the whole,
donuts a
the
day.
whole is
Yeah,
missing,
basically.
yes.
I mean, well, like I know this statistic specifically is for like white males, I think it is, but one of the highest percentages of like suicide is like white single males above 41, I think it is, you know?
It's easy to see.
And it's because like family, they don't, because like there is no, blanket statement, but there's a general consensus or like,
lack thereof,
like community and family.
I mean, that just happened to our ex vice president of my company, 55-year-old dude. Everybody was tripping out. Our owner had talked to him on Thursday, Tuesday.
Damn.
Took himself to the ER, parked in the hospital.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you told me. Damn.
Oh, I didn't.
I forgot.
Can you? Well, I mean, would you care to explain? I didn't. You didn't say. I didn't.
Oh no! So the old vice president of the company I work for, it was actually like, it's one of those rare things. He was like the success story of this company. Like he started out in the yard doing bullshit, raking leaves and stuff, and became the vice president of this multi-million-dollar.
Damn, he really pulled himself up by the
He
bootstraps.
really did.
Right?
No, I mean this honestly. He was like the epitome of that, right?
That's the American dream.
So it was just like he was always in, he kept on doing business with us because he ended up going to Rancho Santa Margarita and becoming like a senior VP of the city for water over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we would obviously did work still for them, and he was our point of contact. Blase blase. So we're doing work out there. Our owner was talking to him just about a TMI report. Time and material report.
Yeah.
3 days before, nothing sounded like he was perfectly straight. And then you just get a call that you're just like, what the heck? Which leads everyone to be like, well, you just start wondering and you don't know really what's going on and you just start speculating, which is the worst thing.
Yeah.
It's worst case scenario,
Yeah.
really, huh?
I mean, I speak about this because I guess now I do feel more comfortable about it. But like I'm coming up on my brother's 6 year.
And that's why I definitely wouldn't even say that. That's why I just kept on.
So 6 years coming up, like in the next 2 weeks, and it was like the same thing. Like I saw Jeff at my house, perfectly fine.
I literally it took me exactly back to when you called me and let me know about your brother, because it's the similarities they both
of single businessmen
just set well.
Yeah,
very
smart,
business minded,
like extremely.
You just don't like you.
Yeah,
literally, I was just like, man, like,
yeah. That is like one of the biggest shocks, I think, too. And I don't know if your the ex-Vice left a note, but when somebody doesn't,
it was still a little too fresh. Maybe at his house, and that's what everybody was thinking, because my owner of my company and him, because they're ballers, they have the same cleaning lady, and since he was alone and stuff, my owner's thinking he just didn't, because she had been doing their houses
forever.
He's maybe just thinking, because she was the only one in his life other than workers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why would he go to the hospital and do it in the parking lot, you know?
But
I think that says a lot.
I think that's the same reason. Jeff literally drove out to some unknown road in Colorado, and it's like
it was
completely away from anybody to like have that kind of, and like,
and that's what you're thinking, like, oh, maybe he went there because maybe he was in a state of mind that he's like, oh, I'm gonna get some help, but then it's obviously didn't go inside.
Yeah, you didn't get, like, it wasn't like
he doesn't like,
you know, so then that what makes you stop thinking that
side of it. Yeah. That's why I think I take, like, speaking about the men group thing, I don't care if people call it men's groups. Like, it was nice this time. There was no like extra like medicine-y type thing. There was no mushrooms or MDMA or anything like that. It was just dudes hanging out with dudes.
It's community building.
That's the most honest.
Yeah. And like, I don't even have to call it men's group, but like the importance of having it can be men with women, women with men. It can be straight, not straight. It doesn't matter.
Everybody, we're not solitary animals.
But to have a group that is enough people that are same and different of you,
just someone you can.
So there's some accountability and connect with, because I'd like
bounce things off
100%, and somebody that can look at you too and be like,
hold you accountable.
They're like, but like somebody that might see you and says like you'll do it to me sometimes, like, hey, I haven't heard you from you for a week. What's up?
Yeah, like,
it's just like you need somebody that kind of someone's like that. It's like, I know that something isn't. I'm not saying anything's bad, but also like, what's up? What's going on? Yep. And then also call you on your shit. Yeah, like there is like, and like that's why I think like with the men's groups are so important to me, because like I generally lead guys through meditations, and like the whole thing is like I'm just doing meditative work, but then I'm like leading conversations that are ultimately like pushing people towards like listen to the person in front of you, and then hopefully they listen to you, and then what's that feel like when like you feel heard, and then somebody can be like, yo, you said this and I just want to catch you on that, or I want to also reinstate that, because I don't know about you, but I like. And yeah, part of it's very, very emotional from like my brother's passing, but I don't want to grow old and like not have people. Like, I'm not saying he didn't, but he lived single in a big house, and he was like, like it was that thing. So yeah,
the line we're flirting with right now.
basically,
in the sense of maybe not having. Kids or all the time
100%
relationship.
Yeah, which I also think is really important when you break down these rules about like living and owning in a house. Like, I think, okay, I get it, he didn't have a partner living in his house, but what if he had like a roommate, someone? What if he had somebody living in
regular friends,
just regular
come out
friends,
every week? Or
you know what I mean?
Like
There's somebody that's in that space that's like, I can check in. Where I'm here, I'm seeing what you're doing and how you're interacting and stuff.
Those old sayings are always true. We know you don't want to be left to your own devices.
Totally.
Idle hands or the devil's
play. You know, it's just like these things are kind of blanket statements, but only because they blanketly apply to things.
Yeah. Well, like, just like cliches they're cliches for a reason, because there's a lot of truth in it.
And I think that's one like just because on the topic and it's all like coming to, like with it, like the thing with mental health and stuff like that is like you met Jeff. If you would have like looked at him, you like, for me, I was like,
it was a never, even
no sign, never,
zip,
like nothing. And like I think that's the thing that people really misunderstand about mental health. They like just kind of expect you to be like clearly
Signs,
showing. Yeah,
Well, it's even like,
clearly,
I mean,
it's like that's not the case.
It's easy for people to even say like, outsider perspective, like, when fans say like, oh, Heath Ledger or something like that. From the outside looking in,
yeah,
you got the world, bro.
Mm-hmm. And then in the inside, you have no idea what's happening. It's like I both put out like my desires, like both, like if you feel in that space, I hope you feel empowered to reach out to someone, but also like if you're a friend of someone, like I'm not saying it's your job to like every Tuesday reach out,
but low key
like
it is. Be a friend.
Yeah, but like be aware, like kind of be aware.
Friend.
Yeah, because everyone gets depressed, but there's some people that start to like live in it. And that's the thing. Like the depression's not like a thing that no one lives unscathed by, but it's like
kind of self-perpetuating.
Yeah, it is. That's the whole, like when you said like
not any blame on the person.
No.
Yeah.
But that's like kind of, and like there are, I do think some people just decide like, hey, I'm done with this crazy world, and like I don't want to actually deal with it. I deal with it, and like I don't know if it's right or wrong to say like that's
when you're not in that headspace. It's hard to say.
It's hard to say what is
how
right.
You could get to that headspace.
Yeah,
there's almost nothing that you could think of that would get you there.
To there, yeah, to be like, I truly am just like done with like doing this thing. But there's other people that are like, the world is better with, like, I'm so like not engaged and happy the world would be better off without me, kind of thing. And like, or just like I'm sick of things. And like I think that those are the ones where you're left to your own devices.
The sick of things is the easy one, because that's what they were saying too about our VP. Maybe he got some terminal thing that he just didn't want to
tell everybody.
Well, that's
and
the
it was
thing
just
too.
something that was like, it ain't gonna make it too long.
Yeah. So
how do you want to?
It's on your own terms.
How do you want to have it on your own terms? Yeah.
You really don't know. So you know what I mean? It's
No,
well, that comes to like what you said, like reaching out, like to, but like some people just don't even have that, to like a circle where they feel close enough to someone to like just reach out, like not on him, but like to have a friend that will
just
anybody.
anybody. But then it's to, like he's saying though, maybe there's some people that feel like they don't have that person to even express something, so it's just them on them,
and then they just
internalizing it,
100%.
internalizing it,
and like the amount of things that we have to basically take away our attention long enough to move us from that internalization, but then it goes right back to it rather than reaching out. I mean, like, and I'm not saying like nothing's inherently bad or good, but like
you can't play video games
depressing
24 hours a day.
Yeah, but depression, like I'll watch a show and I'll binge it, and then I'm depressed again. But then I'll play a video game and then I'm depressed again, or like I'll
preoccupy yourself.
Yeah, eat food and depressed again, kind of thing. And like you can't really get out of that. And I think like the more, I mean, this is like a huge broad jump, but like in this societal terms, the more we can offer avenues, and it can just be like conversing more about it, of like saying like, there's a lot of people that feel like they're stuck in their thing, and then like give that person an avenue to like share, like in some way. And like I don't have that answer, because I would love to say that like make therapy like free and available, but then like therapists are gonna be like, wait, who's gonna pay me, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, universal healthcare is
it's like, and it
would be nice.
Yeah, and universal healthcare, huge. I think.
Or even teaching healthcare and education.
Yeah,
nice.
I think mental health and education.
Bring that up in about kindergarten would be dope.
100%.
You at least have 12 years of mental education then versus 12 years of stupid science.
PE or like
some white math or some stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, is this? I remember you sent me that clip.
Yeah, I know. It was funny.
That shit was ridiculous.
That was.
I just wanted you guys to laugh.
I did.
I didn't even know what to think.
I was just like,
I wanted to hear more of that.
Stop.
But you can't say they're wrong. You can say they're wrong.
I do have no objection to that.
Wait,
but
yeah, exactly.
Another
yeah,
time.
yeah. But I'm just gonna tie this one up, and then we can. Yeah. I just think like, even to your point, like if people were taught at a young age mental health, and also the realization that like in elementary school, junior high, and high school, no one ever like presented the idea like that my issues were everyone else's, that no one was just talking about it. That was never a conversation, like ever. And like
you're only taught how to listen and take order.
Yeah, seriously. And it's like, dude, like that kind of stuff, like if you could just introduce that idea at a younger age, I do think people would be, earlier conversation that we had off camera, more compassionate, listen better,
If
and
it was
people
a class you had to do up until you graduated high school.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone would be a lot more cognizant
100%. 100%.
of, hey, I mean, I understand how my mind works, but his mind might not work like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And like, am I saying that stops all
no, but it
life taking, self-life taking? No, but it helps. And I think people in those scenarios would feel a lot more comfortable than reaching out. Like, I do think that you're already having conversations like that.
Remove stigma.
Yeah, which is like, this all big one thing back to the men's group. It's removing stigma. It's being able to have that conversation.
I was going to ask, like, what other, like, activities or practices you do? Because I know in certain school, this is a very, like, small, like, probably just this one off even maybe. But, like, they had kids who would need to be disciplined, and they would put them into a room, but it's not like discipline. They would like do yoga or they would meditate, and this is like grade school, and it's like the kids like afterwards, like they felt like more seen, more heard, and like they didn't, because all that stuff, like misbehaving, yeah, it is a rigid system, but it's like that's just like wanting to be heard.
Something.
You want to be heard.
Most
100%.
kids,
You're
in, like,
rebelling against
schooling,
something.
Yeah.
If they're misbehaving, there's probably, and this is blanket again, but there's probably maybe some discomfort in the home, or something that's making the schooling 6 hours of their life very difficult, to where they have to act out in any kind of way to try to get attention to where they don't get in home.
Yeah. Or just how you like, there's attention at home, and then there's also like the whether you I mean, you're very unaware of it as a kid, but there's like the political norms of an elementary school. You know who's the cool kid, you know who's not.
Social structure,
and you feel
classes
good.
Hierarchy.
Yeah, and you feel good when people are like, I like you,
Just acknowledge
you, and you don't. So like, if I have to act out to get people to basically acknowledge me, is that really
keep act? It's not. It makes sense.
But that's why I always lean back. It's like, it's the kids, dude. And that's why, like, people when they're in the hood or try to get money, they move away because they're like, dang, if I have a kid, I don't really care where I am per se, but I want them to have a better chance.
Yeah, totally.
And if they're around, I know what I was thinking because of the people I was around, and this is what was cool to them. So I want it to be cool. So maybe if they're in an environment where school's cool,
yeah,
it would.
Or at least not terrible.
Or at least they're not looked at as a nerd for being smart.
Yeah, like beat up kind of nerd. There's, like,
you know what I mean?
Nerd. Yeah.
That's why people try to get their kids in private school, or whatever.
That's why I honestly,
a terrible place.
I really
It is.
I really, really appreciate those outdoor education. Now I know they're not available to everyone because there is a sense of like physical aptitude that you have to have, but like the fact that like you take somebody out into like a natural environment and you're teaching them the same things, but like you're a kid, so your mind is like always like interested. So you're allowed to be
like in our society, like that's not cool. Like it's pretty, I would say, I don't know because I'm not like English or European, but I would think it's pretty like standard for them like to go off to boarding school.
Before
university,
or a type of boarding school.
Yes, before university. Like it was very like, it's not an uncommon thing for them to be like, I'm going to go to high school at this boarding school, or it's an all-boy boarding school.
Yeah, it's very rigid. It feels like stiff.
Yeah.
Kind of like
it is not. It wasn't uncommon for them, but it's way uncommon for us to go to any.
It's like a privilege over here.
Past a privilege,
or you're being. It's either a privilege or you're being punished.
Yeah, that's all. That's
deep
it.
punishment.
It's not normal. It's either a privilege. Yeah. So maybe that. Yeah, our society's jacked, dude.
It is,
but it isn't.
It isn't. I would like. Speaking of society, I was thinking about the other day about specifically America being only like 200 and almost 50 years old. So like we're close to 250. And then I was thinking that like the UK was like
the next closest.
The UK was like established in like the 10th century. So you're like All right,
everyone tries to say we're relatively new.
Like, I mean, but like extremely. Like, I think in that sense,
yes.
like if you were hanging out with in a crew of people and like you were like a producer and the UK was a producer, you'd be listening to UK. Like, you know way more than me. Like, I'm brand new, but I think like that's where like I don't want to say we're messed up, but there's a lot of areas that I do wish like we would just like slow and listen, because like we could do better, and it's not expensive.
Western medicine versus Eastern medicine is
100%.
Example.
Easy.
They have actually like decades.
Yeah,
of
centuries.
That Adderall do hit though.
It do though, but that's it do though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so we can't be like, you know what I mean? We do want.
I mean, if you sever your finger while working on like a project, you want Western medicine because they can probably put that thing back on. But
I don't want to pray about it.
But yeah. But
put some leaves on it and tape it back
if
together.
you're trying to actually take care of like mental health or long-term physical health,
that's
Western medicine's not the way to do it.
It's what's it called?
Quick fix.
It's very
Band-Aid.
targeted,
very
and
targeted.
acute.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's not
doesn't help.
broad. It's not looking
It
across.
will actually cause a lot of bad for you in the short term, but it'll fix this big problem.
Yeah.
But like, it's not geared towards like how you live every day.
Yeah.
I just watched that thing on Netflix, Painkiller.
Oh, you watched it? Wild.
Made me really just love capitalism, and
Did it make you
I was gonna
love
say, bro,
it?
you just watched something?
Did it make you love it though?
I did though, because ultimately they didn't lose, but flip side made me feel really bad how it's so easy to take advantage of people, and if you know the language of law, how you can kind of maneuver through it.
Do you want to give like a quick synopsis? Did you ever see it?
I haven't seen it.
Do you want to give a quick synopsis?
Okay, so it's all about Oxycontin, and it's how it's prevalence of how it got so big. It's basically how it got so big and why it got so big. And in the shortest way possible for me to tell you, it's just that this one family who basically owned Purdue had so much money and connections to where they were literally, for lack of better words, able just to buy approval.
Oh yeah, I know. I haven't seen it, but
So
it's like
basically,
they paid doctors to.
They didn't
prescribe
pay
it to
doctors.
everything.
They brought the doctors that were opposing them onto their payroll.
Yeah.
They made them part of them. They greased them that hard. Anyone opposing them, 6-7 months,
Buy them out.
bought them out, and they became the people for them from Purdue.
But they would
Every
just like
opposer.
literally like and they would they had like salespeople, right?
They
Calling
had the
every
hottest
doctor's
girls
office.
going out to
the doctors.
giving BJs,
Yeah.
doing whatever.
Oh,
and
shit,
then,
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
dude.
and the way that this is why I say it made me like capitalism, because if you know the laws, like technically, and the way that the owners were thinking about it, they weren't really thinking about killing people. They were thinking about hooking people on something and keeping them as repeat customers.
Yeah. Which is
Uncontrolled dosages.
which I think is exactly what most people
They took
how they
that
look.
part out of it because no, I'm being honest.
They did.
I know, that's
Yeah,
They took
did.
that part out of it, which is why I can empathize with them, because they said, well, we're not the doctors prescribing this.
Yeah.
That should be on the physician who's prescribed that. And then one more step past that, because they never took accountability. They said if you did get addicted to it, it was because you were an addict, you were a natural fiend, and you were bound to get addicted to whatever. Which, again, could be true.
But I mean, it could.
Exactly. And that's all you need in law.
Yeah. It like
It's the wrong profession, my friend.
I know,
What's
but
up
that's
with
why I
it?
said I see both. It sucked because then like the whole thing is about Purdue, and then this one black lady who obviously her family was torn apart from Oxycontin specifically,
Yeah.
and she had a big vendetta against the company. And you know, guess what? At the end of it, she realized. I'm gonna let you guess, but you already know. Money pays.
The wheel turns.
I mean,
she ended up quitting because
she get paid off.
she took it all the way to court. The DA was like, we're taking this to court. They took it to court. And before they told her, they took a settlement because the dude who owned Purdue called Rudy Giuliani, who called somebody else, who called somebody else, who called the White House. White House called the DOJ specifically and said, you're making a settlement with Purdue.
Wow.
There's nothing else. You are making a settlement with this company.
Morals only go so far, I suppose, right?
I mean,
They can, or maybe you just hit a wall. No matter how far you want to go, you'll hit a wall.
ultimately,
Bureaucracy.
money is base level hierarchy of need.
It's crazy though,
It's
just to see like
such a-
realistically how much, and like it is funny because he is very, I would say, lonely, distraught. The whole thing, like the owner, the big time owner of the Purdue company, does no family beside like uncles, dad,
Yeah.
like no wife, stuff like that. You know, seemed like a very lonely life.
I mean, you like. I think it'd be hard to be married to someone who like keeps their shutters up. So like,
Did you watch it?
yeah,
His whole thing was just saying winning,
shutters,
and making money.
Yeah,
He didn't care about
shutters
nothing
were up
else.
Deep.
That's why I said I could see how people own big businesses and they're not really looking at the minutia of what this is.
They
what's
choose
going-
not to.
Because
They
they're all
don't.
They
because they're all
willingly
focused
choose
You
not
on-
choose willingly choose
focused
not
on
to.
business
Yeah.
and working and like yeah, you can achieve a lot in business, but you will be lacking in other areas.
I think that's why a lot of those dudes, some like not all, but you hear those stories where they're like, I had my epiphany. I was, whether it's a deathbed epiphany or prior to that epiphany,
Try to
they're like,
change.
try to change because they're like, damn,
or try to give up all the money,
yeah,
to charity.
yeah. Now I don't know how. I don't
By
also.
salvation.
I also
salvation.
was gonna say I don't know how genuine some of that stuff actually is in the end, because habitually, if you've been running on the same habit for a long period of time, like science will tell you, it's
hard to
not
change
just like
overnight.
tomorrow you change. Yeah. Now you might have the heart to change it, but the actual actions.
Rome was not built in a day.
I think you would literally have to like quit. Like that's why like the CEOs who step down, I look at them and I'm like, okay, if you did it,
Or like whistleblowers. Who,
yeah, whistleblower. If you had like a no reason step down, and people were like, when like CEOs just like, oh, I'm stepping down, and like there's like they didn't do anything. It wasn't like
They
some
just knew
scandal.
the moral
They
implications
just
was
knew it.
wrong.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that could be your step, but
very, very rare.
rare. Yeah. Speaking of Giuliani,
Ooh.
his mugshot
His-
made me
he
laugh,
was mean
dude.
mugging.
His mugshot was like,
Where did they all get booked in Atlanta?
Fulton County.
yeah.
I heard that they saw Trump at the Magic City after. I don't know if that's true or not.
Probably not.
I can't be true.
Okay, so it was Giuliani and Trump got booked, and I don't know any, but those are the only mugshots I saw. So.
Oh, you didn't see those Brady Bunch memes of like, oh, it was.
I saw the whoever it was, but
No,
I have no idea
I
who they
didn't
are.
recognize.
I just
Yeah.
saw all the edits of Trump wearing different things
you
and
see him
looking.
holding up the blood.
Yeah, that's I'm holding up the
It was
blood.
a cold day in Fulton County.
Yeah, and then I also saw it was only an $80,000 bail, which is insane.
Well,
Yeah, he was on bond.
On the laws,
bond.
though.
Bond.
Bond is it's a fraction of your
Of the
actual.
so 800,000 because 10%, right?
I'm saying the laws that he broke while are felonies. I don't know what
Well,
weight they hold as far as criminal time.
Well, he could buy out because he's he's such a public figure. He can't flee the country.
no, but even
without
if
being-
I don't know, like whatever he did, okay, tampering with the ballot, it could be literally at maximum of 5-year penalty. You know, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know the.
I just like I guess it's kind of no. I know it's way more money because if it's 10%, then it's 800,000. I was just thinking about my bail being or my bond being 10,000 for $100,000 bail, and I was like, man, it seems like tampering with federal things is way worse than stealing some TVs. But I don't know. Like, I mean,
the Young Thug lawyers
wait, yeah.
said the same thing. They're like, "Wow, this is pretty funny. This guy has almost the exact same charges as our defendant, yet he can't get bond,
That's crazy.
and you give this guy bond."
It's a lot of hearsay too on the other on Young Thug, or it's like,
Well, I mean, when the charges are racketeering, it's not hearsay.
oh no, but like evidence. I don't
We're
know.
not talking about evidence. There's no
Yeah.
evidence to be talked about.
Exactly.
We're talking
No,
about
exactly.
charges.
It's all
charges.
it's all like
It's the charge. We're talking about the charge.
Was it only for ballots? Because that's the only one
I don't know.
knew.
It's every time I look into it, I'm like, what is really going on here?
a whole lot of fuckery.
Because like what it was. I thought it was over like a couple 100,000, but then maybe 4 or.
Well, they're trying to introduce legislation in Georgia. I think it's Brian Kemp, the
Off
governor.
the ballot, right?
Oh no, they're trying to introduce legislation to remove the DA who is prosecuting on
She's
this case.
crazy. Fannie Mae or the whatever. Maxine, not Maxine.
Phil Taylor. Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
but they're trying to introduce like not that because she's not even like she's like pretty conservative. She's not like out of pocket in any way, but because is such a landmark case. They're trying to introduce legislation that says we can remove a DA from this.
Wow.
And it's like for nothing.
She's been on a vendetta though. She's been going ham.
But wasn't it just for rappers? I mean, I don't know. Wasn't that going ham thing specifically just for like?
But then again, I guess now I could say people of stature.
Because it was Meek Mill, right?
Yep.
And then it was
YSL. YFN Lucci.
But you know they didn't care. They didn't care until now. They didn't say anything until then. Like from a government standpoint, they didn't say. Objections until right now.
No, yeah.
They have no problem locking up
Black
rappers.
Yeah.
People of darker skin tones.
You know, that's what I'm saying. It is kind of funny. And why is it
funny? Is a term. I don't know. Is it funny or is it fucked?
It's funny money though. That's at play.
Well,
it's
always.
Both. It's funny and fucked.
So like, pardon me for like not looking this up because it's an easy thing I can Google search and I haven't done it yet. But if you are charged with a felony, can you run for president, or is it only convictions?
Yeah, I believe you just can't have a conviction, and
It's
maybe you can't
right?
even have a federal conviction. To be honest with you, I don't know.
But I don't think there's been any precedent. But I think you can't have any felony convictions because I think plenty of presidents have had misdemeanors.
Yeah,
but they haven't like. It's always been while they're in office, and they haven't ran for the presidency. So it's there's no precedent.
You think
for the president?
Do you think Donald Trump planned his mugshot to be?
He was practicing.
Oh, you mean like the way he looked?
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty good.
I believe so. If Kim Kardashian poses the way she looks for a driver license, I would expect Donald Trump to pose for his.
I wonder if
mugshot.
Are mugshots public record?
It is public. That's why I said we should use it. Anyone could use it. That's why there's all this
How
merch.
do you find?
It's public record.
How do you find my mugshot?
Just go on the database and type in your name.
Yeah, you could probably find mine. You could probably find yours.
Wait, what database?
The mugshot database.
No, every state has a database, and if it's federal, they have their own database. So his would be federal. So you go on there. But every state has, because that's what it is. Like I know we're talking about academics, but it's like any patron could go to almost any trial.
Yeah,
you just
I wonder
apply.
if that one will be open though.
It's federal, so probably not.
Yeah, I don't see.
They could close it.
Yeah, it's super high profile.
Yeah, it's for multiple reasons.
Too
Crazy
much,
people
too much,
on each
like
side.
media,
way too much.
media bias and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do wonder though. To your point, if it's going to be an OJ trial,
how could it not?
You know, I would. Yeah,
because even if he gets convicted, he's not going to jail, right?
I don't know. I don't. I
well,
mean,
that's one thing, but then like the sentencing is a whole nother. You know?
Yeah.
Because charges, conviction, sentencing, like
he probably
might
goes
just
to
get
the
Mar-a-Lago fucking house arrest,
yeah. He probably go to the same plush jail that Wolf of Wall Street ended up going to. You know, like it had like
federal jail is plushier than.
Oh, well. Speaking of spending time in the pen, did you hear about Fyre Fest 2.0?
I did.
What's his name? Billy McFarland or something?
Yeah, Billy McFarland. And I got so many questions.
The nerve of that white man.
But the first thing I think is weird is
it like if anyone buys a ticket,
but they only sold 100.
That's all you need, right?
100 tickets for $400 each. As I think it is. So that's 40,000. I'm like, first thing, that's not a pre-sale because who only sells 100 tickets for a pre-sale, whatever, and then people bought them.
Maybe it's at Yamava.
But also, couldn't you just buy your own tickets for $40,000 pre-sale to get people to believe that you like that?
You did that last time, Sean.
That just seems like 2.0 to me.
I'm
man.
just wondering, like, who would sign on as an artist? Who would sign on as a sponsor?
Yeah.
Anybody sign on as an artist because they're guaranteed they got money up front. So
well, that's what
from where?
That's not what happened last time.
Yeah,
that's why it fell apart.
That's
you know,
what,
like
they didn't have the money,
but
they never got paid.
All the big artists, they didn't get paid in full. All of them got deposits, which was a good amount because none of those acts are booking without.
Because there's like Blink 182.
They're not booking without 30, 40 up front.
Wait, the current?
No, the last.
Oh, the last time.
It was big names.
No, remember the guy? They booked him and they paid out. They paid them out. That was part of why they had to pay.
I don't
so
think
much
anybody
money.
got paid in full, right? That's why.
Probably not all the way full, but
would you try to change? Would you would you be so bold to keep the same name, or would
That's what you have to do.
Would you think you double down
There's a
Then
certain
you got
level
to
of
change the
notoriety.
logo to Fire.
and like a
Fired.
and like a
Bologna sandwich.
Yeah,
The little
yeah. Just a sandwich
the
with the
sandwich on fire or
Yeah,
something like
dude.
that. A little TP
bottle of
burning.
water.
Bro, that's like jail hospital food, and I fuck with that food, but
Green-
not for like
sandwiches-
$3,000.
Green oranges.
A good ham sandwich go hard.
Yeah.
Cubano sandwich.
Now you're getting too ethnic. I just
Yeah,
need white
yeah,
bread.
That literally was what it
And
was.
it just needs to be devoid of nutrition.
I'm okay. So
It doesn't discount it. I'll still eat it.
I'm shocked about the Fyre Fest thing. I don't believe it. I don't think that the 100 tickets they sold for pre-sale actually went to people.
Dude,
I don't.
let's know where it's taking place.
Bahamas again.
Bahamas again. Yeah,
The nerve.
yeah. I don't
Same
think.
island?
I don't know.
I don't think he ever.
I don't think it's secured yet.
I wonder if they got the same guy that needs to suck dick for water.
Hired on as a vendor.
Just suck his
Luxury
dick.
services.
That was the funniest
I know. I don't care.
because he was dead serious.
Dead
when he was-
ass serious.
I liked it though.
I don't know, like,
How did he get?
rumor mill is like he never even paid like the locals actually for the first
didn't.
time. Yeah, so I'm like, how would you pay, how would you get on the second one? Like it just seems so fake to me. Like almost like he already is given the rights to like
Someone else.
to Netflix for another special. It feels like that kind of thing to me. Like you already have the rights for this,
Or maybe he partnered up
something like
with
that.
the Netflix.
Ja
Yeah.
Rule's son.
Because even if it was, whether it's a success or a failure, the rights will, like, it's gonna sell because
Story.
it's already a story.
He's getting $20K off of the rights, if not more. You know, like,
Easily. So yeah, I mean,
I didn't think that's a good take. I never thought.
you
of
heard
that.
about like how it came up though, right?
no.
He was in solitary for like 20 to 30 whatever days, and he came up with this whole manifesto plan of like how it needs to go. It's like, okay,
Do you remember when he was doing like jail interviews until he got busted?
No.
He was doing like, I think he was doing interviews out of the jail cell, and then he was like doing like he said like a manifesto where he was like, I don't know if he was putting it on like on a USB stick. It was some janky where he was like, he was definitely still working.
All right, Josh, I come to you with a manifesto after being in solitary confinement. Do you take me seriously? Who's taking him seriously?
I would act like I'm taking you seriously and be like, let's keep an eye on Sean.
Has he announced any acts?
Not that I
No.
know of. No.
I don't think anything's secured.
Literally,
I think
the
it's
only
all
thing
up
I
in the
know
air.
is 100 tickets were sold, and then they said that the next round of tickets start. First round of tickets started at 400. The next round of tickets started at 800.
Would you go?
No.
Why not?
Well, first thing, ticket price 800. Cash.
For general?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to have like if there was a paper
Just go on
ticket,
Holy Ship.
and then like just to have it framed, Fyre Fest 2.0 like a ticket. I'm not paying that much. I'll pay 100 just to have the ticket, but it's a cultural artifact.
phenomenon.
What if? Because there's only two scenarios that could happen, and both are hilarious.
It goes great?
None of them.
It's
I
the
feel
most
like
banger
none
of all bangers.
To where it becomes the new Coachella.
It's so amazing.
It's the best.
new
stuff.
island Coachella.
It's the best thing
Yeah.
you could ever imagine.
Or literally the whole island goes up in flames.
It just happens exactly again.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
Exact
there's
same
two
way. But
outcomes.
worse.
Two outcomes, but neither of them end up where the festival never happens. Like both of them, festival never happens. Which one is just a bigger dumpster fire? I think.
Wait, you think there's two ones where the festival never happens?
I think they're. It's
like
not
one
going to
person-
happen
okay.
either way.
Okay.
It's just how big is this trash fire, car fire of, an event?
You don't think
is
they
gonna
go
be.
as far as they went last time though, where people are out there?
No, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna get that far even. I think it'll get to the promotion.
That's pretty crazy. They have
'Cause it-
people out there.
It
Yeah.
just really depends on if like, but who's gonna fund this,
That's what I'm saying.
and then like who's gonna
how?
sign on to it?
Exactly.
Because then you're
Yeah.
like, there's some cultural implications on
Plus,
it if you sign on to this.
If people are signing on to this and putting money onto this, sponsor us because we're way less like worse. I mean, like you're gonna
Trey
put
way
Fest.
less of a risk.
of a risk.
ROI.
Like it'll blow my mind if people are, if like Dasani was like, we're gonna put our name on like the water there, like anything. I'm like,
Liquid Death is a perfect sponsor for that.
Damn,
At least they'll be hydrated.
nah, it'd be like Smart and Final water bottles or something. Because this is final. You
Would've
weren't.
been- no, it
you
would've
weren't
been-
smart.
It wasn't
it would have
smart.
been great value.
Great value. Yup. Yeah, the Fyre Fest thing did blow my mind, though. I actually thought it was a joke when I first saw the highlight, the headline of it. I was like, no way.
Man ass conviction. I saw like him.
He was in a robe, right?
I don't know.
He
I wasn't
like,
paying attention to his attire.
Speaking of conviction, Andrew Schultz seemed to have a lot of conviction about his Beyonce versus T Swift position.
Well, no, he said like you didn't hear about that? Your boy, like Andrew Schultz.
Schultzy.
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 Sean's saying Schultzy now. Look at that.
Schultz.
But he said that Taylor Swift, greatest living performing artist, like live show, really
he has to say that he's white.
No, but he's like, you can only compare her to like Michael Jackson.
He's white.
Michael Jackson?
I'd take
him and Schultz.
I'd take offense to that though, just because you're saying he's. I mean, I get it. I'm only melanated to.
He's only offended 50%.
Halfway.
What offends you about what I said, Sean?
What makes
I want
it
to change my actions.
No. But what makes? Explain to me the white thing, because I take digs at white people, white scenarios too. But like in this, how?
It's really easy to undermine someone that's outside of your race while upping your race, and that's all he's doing. I could easily say Michael Jackson's way better than Elton John, which is easy for me to say. I'm doing the exact same thing he's doing, which I should do.
You just said Michael Jackson's white.
He's black, we know this. But that's all I'm saying. He's supposed to be, that's his stick. I get it. He's a comedian, first off. He's not stupid, second of all. I don't believe that he identifies or likes Taylor Swift's music more than Beyonce.
I don't know. He was all about T Swift.
That's cool.
He said he was. He said he was like. He said.
You don't believe him?
No.
You know, this could just be for the press, but like he said, he was a hater before. He was like, I'm not gonna enjoy it, whatever. And then he said by like the second song, he was like fucking vibing hard.
Yeah, he's also married now, which is new. I think his wife's got to him. Turned soft.
He's been married.
Do you trust anything he says?
I have to decipher whatever anyone says. So he can say Taylor Swift's better than Beyonce. That's cool. But as a black man listening to a white man's opinion on a black and white artist, it holds no credence to me.
Who you think's better?
I could easily say Beyonce is way better, and stats would prove that. Time would prove that.
How would stats prove that?
Accolades would.
I'm just
that.
curious because I truly don't
know. How
know.
would stats prove that?
Has Beyonce sold out like as many like insane like what Taylor Swift's done like?
She's moved the economy.
Yeah, like I just don't. I know Beyonce sells out everywhere she goes, but has she ever done like a 7 nights at Madison Square, 10 nights at Forum kind of thing?
I think Beyonce had the highest run. I think she just overtook Taylor Swift for like the shortest stint, like a 7-day span. Highest. Yeah, no, it's like they're literally neck and neck. I could, you know what I mean? It's just tomato. It's whatever.
Okay, going off this because I like this. Do you think then because there's more white people?
Of course, it's a lot easier for her to get way bigger. That's the easiest thing.
Appeals to a broader audience.
Beyonce literally has to go out there shaking her ass, wearing heels, dancing, singing her ass off, performing her ass off, while Taylor Swift can literally. And I'm not demeaning anything she's doing or anything, but she can literally just tap into her teenage emotions and sell out arenas.
I mean, from the clips I've seen, like she sings like 40 songs, and it's like her set is like 2.5 hours long.
Is she performing as intensely as a Beyonce?
But like,
I'm asking a simple
I wouldn't
question.
want to put them side by side because
it's apples and oranges.
It's apples to oranges.
And also, Beyonce doesn't play instruments, and Swift does. So like, there is a sense of like, there's a different type of show. Like Beyonce is a dancer. Like she is putting
she's
on
an entertainer.
She
Taylor
is
Swift is more of a musician, vocalist
at the beginning, and then but she does do the dancing thing, but it's not.
It's not anywhere
to
the thing. It's like the dancers. Yeah. She has the dancers doing it,
That's
whereas
totally.
Beyonce does.
Yeah,
but you know, it's similar to like K-pop is like entertainment.
That's all
entertaining.
It's
like
K-pop's crazy to me.
It's purely entertainment. It's just like how NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were.
K-pop's so entertaining.
It's literally we're manufacturing a sound, a look, a niche that we know people want.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all it is.
It is really weird that like taking like what Schultz said, no one asked him ever to be like, "Hey, tell us about the GOAT." but like he kind of took it upon himself to have this conversation. It's weird that things like that happen.
It's a flagrant opinion.
Where there's like there's not like no one's asking you like tell me the difference between Beyonce.
You're right,
and
and at best, all he's doing is demeaning one person's legacy.
Exactly.
At
the
best.
Yeah, because like I am not a fan of either.
I like both.
I couldn't,
but I'm not a super fan of
yeah,
either.
I couldn't tell I'm a fan. I have listened to albums of both sides. I've liked songs of both persons.
I could see their appeal. I don't say one is, and that's why I said, well, they're both kind of going like, I don't say one's, I could see how one is definitely more appealing to the masses off of a few basic factors.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
And normally your appeal and your reach determines how big you are, which then I would say makes it even crazier that Beyonce can't compete at a level like that, being that she doesn't have those same
I think too, like
check marks.
She doesn't have anywhere, like she has a fraction of the amount of tour dates. Because
for Beyonce?
Yeah, because like I think not that there's any less production either.
Well,
but
she's
like,
been in the game so much longer. Her relevance shouldn't be even.
She's been performing as long as Taylor Swift's been alive, almost.
Exactly
Not quite.
But you're you know
not far
exactly.
off.
That's all. You're not far off. So
No.
she shouldn't be as relevant as the most relevant pop artist.
I think I would say both their names are household names.
They're
equally.
I would say
that's
that's
what
the
I'm saying. It's
biggest.
harder for me to diminish Beyonce because it would be.
And you're not anywhere near a Beyonce.
I don't, but
fan.
I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe in 20 years, then I could say Taylor Swift is greater or lesser than like an Olivia Rodrigo if she keeps on going or something like that. But it's very hard for me to be like, dude, you're trying to shine a light on one of the biggest R&B, and she broke out. She started a whole thing calling it the Beyonce effect when you leave your group.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
yeah,
are we all but that's the thing. We all do have short-term memory.
Would you say
no one
though,
likes to remember what the past really was about?
Would you say though that they're both probably the biggest artists in maybe the world right now? Definitely the country.
No, The Weeknd is actually statistically.
I think that's probably also a pretty American. Like,
Yeah, no, probably in the
Statistically,
United
it's The
States.
Weeknd in the United States, but they're definitely in the
But
top
that's just
five.
plays though.
No, he made the most money off of tours in this last month.
Crazy.
Dude, it was something stupid.
I do think though, because everyone like I remember I was at my parents' house and like my niece like that.
It's just easy going enough where everyone can.
Her parents were playing like they were playing like The Weeknd, and I was like, y'all know what this song's about,
enough.
right?
It's
But like
about fucking.
yeah, but like it's just enough.
enough.
Everyone loves it, like because they love his voice.
Just
And it's catchy.
Like Taylor and Beyonce. Taylor Swift is just enough, I guess, not irritating, and Beyonce's for quote unquote saying passable enough to be palatable enough.
Yeah,
to the mainstream.
I think my favorite. I mean, don't hate me, Beehive, but I think my favorite Beyonce I've ever listened to was the Carter's album. That's the only one I actually like.
I'm not a fan. Like,
I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not a fan
album.
of.
You don't like that album?
I'm not a fan of Taylor
It's
nor
like
Beyonce.
it doesn't stand out. I like. There's like a couple other albums, and
I liked their Destiny's Child stuff, to be honest. Like those songs resonate with me more than.
But that's also a
You
lot
Were
of
a Soldier?
nostalgia. That's a
I
lot
could
of
sing
nostalgia.
that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm a
yeah,
survivor,
exactly. We grew up with that because like that was like
'Cause
all
there-
we saw on MTV
and music
BET,
videos.
and VH1 even.
Yeah.
Give me that TRL.
Yeah, you're right. But
And
her
it's like-
new stuff that was pounded into my head,
I didn't like that last album. I'm just gonna.
Exactly.
I will say though it's
wasn't.
it's like a lot more. There's a lot more nuance and complexity than
Lemonade
than
was
before.
dope.
Yeah.
And
No
so
way. Wait,
yeah,
wait.
Lemonade was
Lemonade
great.
was
dope.
good, but that's when you're getting onto that's like, oh, this is like a cultural moment.
Yeah, totally.
Like when SZA dropped, you know, like there's like
Did you just compare SZA to Beyonce?
I'm saying how like
I mean, SZA is freaking
for the new
huge
girls,
right
yes,
now.
and then
Yeah.
SZA, white girls just as much as black girls identify with SZA.
Because the young kids I work with at my work, they love
For
SZA.
females, that's like
she
she doesn't have a color really. Everyone because
Mm-hmm.
she's not like
People don't see in color these days. You know that, right?
You're right, but
until they do.
but she doesn't. Her music isn't, I guess, quote unquote, stereotypical of a black R&B singer.
Yes and no.
I guess
mean,
that's
I will
kind of
say
the
like
Coachella effect.
That could be.
Because I think like Coachella really blend those like, and I might be biased because I'm on the West Coast, but it
That
did
could be.
seem like there was like this time, maybe like 6-7 years ago, where like you had female singers that were kind of all sounding a little bit similar. And they were like not necessarily doing the same thing to their skin tone.
I didn't know Ariana Grande was white for the longest time.
What do you think she was?
I thought she was like
Hispanic?
Hispanic or something.
Well, she is.
She was real
of
dark.
some kind of Spanish.
She's
descent.
Italian. No, she's Italian.
Well, there you go.
I mean, but at the same time, that's colorism, because like Italians can get dark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you think she got bigger because of the way they portrayed her or presented
Well,
her?
like, or not necessarily that's why she got big, but like that's maybe some sort of like unconscious appeal to some people. I'm like, oh, she's not like a white artist, and I'm like, oh,
By
I
her
could
name
like I
being
could go.
Ariana Grande, you associate that as Hispanic?
Except
No,
Katy
I feel
Perry.
like that's compared to a Katy Perry. Like say like oh, there's maybe some is ambiguation a word?
Well,
There's
I'm saying
some
her name
ambiguousness,
really
yeah.
isn't Ariana Grande, right?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
it's
no.
So
it's
if
all
she's
stage names.
Italian and they're making her kind of look more melanated than she is,
Yeah, totally.
and by calling her stage name Ariana Grande,
Yeah, it does. I mean, I thought
Ariana
she.
Venti.
I thought she was Hispanic of some sort, or
That leads
Latin.
you
I thought
to-
there was a Latin culture.
yeah, that leads. I mean, they're representing that.
Yeah,
I thought Zendaya was like part Arab and Hispanic for a long time.
she's just
She's black and white.
black and white.
yeah,
right?
no, but I was like, oh,
Does
I
anybody
didn't
know
know.
her last name?
Coleman
her
or
real
something
name?
like that.
Coleman.
Something like
Is it
that.
something
You can
like
look it
that?
up, yeah.
Mm.
But speaking of like touring artists that are iconic, I'd say. I don't know if you guys got into them, but the Fugees, Lauryn. It's the 25th anniversary of Miseducation of
out of
Lauryn
jail?
Hill. Yeah,
So he's not going to jail?
but it's not the Fugees.
It's not the Fugees. It's just Lauryn Hill.
Miseducation of Lauryn
Miseducation
Hill.
of Lauryn Hill.
And I don't know if you guys know, but they have a reputation for
Terrible shows.
not putting
Playing.
them on, not playing, not showing up,
That's what she
going on
does.
2-3 hours late.
That's what
I
know.
bought. I was big into the Fugees, and I think the what was the name of that big album they had? Maybe the only,
the score.
Regret?
the score.
Yeah.
It was like the probably 25th anniversary of that, and I bought tickets for it. Was planning on selling. Like I think I bought 3. Was planning on
She
selling
just
2.
canceled.
Never happened.
She's
Never
like
never
that.
even played one
She's
date
like
from
that.
it. Yeah. And
Didn't
it's-
we see her though? We saw her, right?
I think so at Coachella.
At Coachella.
I think
yeah,
she
I
played it here.
did see her. Yeah.
And that's probably like one of the rare shows
Yeah.
they played. I still love her. I still love the Fugees, but like I'm never gonna try and see them live just because it's like might not happen. Most likely won't happen.
I wonder if she has like some type of like insane social anxiety that no one knows about, which makes her not like show up and play, or if it's just like a
No, I think she's on her print shit. She don't care.
she don't care.
Yeah, well, because they are some
I'm
like
the artist. You're
there's
the
a lot of-
fan. Shut the fuck up.
conflict within the group dynamics.
Well, I know too. I think
that's a fact.
I know
yeah.
it always bothered her too about like white people, like the majority of the show being
Just
white.
that- she's
fans.
just that. She's. I mean, which again, I guess I like. She's the embodiment of what an artist wants an artist to be.
Yep.
But that's like
Bold.
not profitable, you know.
It isn't profitable.
So she, technically she's the only one of the few artists
Yeah.
that like sticks to the guns of like her.
well, that's why I
morals
think
over
I like
profit.
Tizo Touchdown, and I'm glad you like him too, because he's definitely trying to do something different, and I can appreciate
He
that.
does not fit in any sort of box. And that's
all.
what I like.
I can
Fucking
appreciate that.
shout
yeah,
out.
I can appreciate that.
Josh fucking Stolen Nova. Like he's working with him. Like
Oh, really?
Naughty's boyfriend. Yeah.
No, yeah, Tizo is. I mean, but he's working like he's just different. Like
Yeah.
he'll do just different.
He doesn't have any sort of like
No,
boundaries with his style, which is cool. Like refreshing in that like he's not trying to be anything. He just
but
is.
it also doesn't serve too high of a replay value.
Yeah, like if you're an investor,
That's
she's
why
at the point
yeah.
where she doesn't need investors.
I was just about to say I like that as an artist, but that's why I get in arguments with artists all the time who are more for the artist when I'm like, dude, but this is the music business. This is the music fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, get those morals and boundaries after you have a hit record, and then
That's
just
basically
say fuck
what
off after.
everybody does.
Like Mr.
You really
Ocean.
can't speak very much when you don't have the like. It's very rare. What is it like? U2 owns everything, and they have for a long
Sting,
time.
there's a couple
Sting,
people
there's
that
a couple people.
had the mindset too.
Yeah, and other than that, it's extremely rare. I was explaining.
Prince fought for it his whole career.
Yep. Yeah.
This is like left field, but like Beastie Boys had
Beastie.
Yeah.
a
Beastie
big
Boys.
shift in their like kind of.
But they were so early too, to where I think they were. It was like I think those legacy acts that got in so early, like the LL, they got a little more equity.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, for sure. Cultural and
financial.
Yeah.
So it's like you look at them and you're like, well, how did the Grandmaster Flashes and the Rakims, why are they not?
Why aren't they popping?
I fucking love Rocket.
Or not popping, but just a stat like.
Why didn't they
They only have the stature.
Yeah.
They don't have the financial.
Yeah.
They never got. They never
KRS.
reaped it. They just laid the.
Well, but he's different because he's like a professor. I feel like he does maybe have money. He just
Maybe
don't.
I wonder if KRS decided like
five-
he's one of those
the five
like,
pillars
I'm
of
done.
Because I feel
hip-hops.
like he's
Yeah.
like who's the producer that does shit? Guru.
Oh,
He's like
okay.
a guru.
yeah,
Say
yeah,
P-Rock.
yeah.
Same thing, but like
Yeah.
a guru where
Yeah.
I feel like he's monetarily okay and he's able to choose and do what he wants.
I
to
imagine
do.
this is the same thing with No ID.
Exactly.
Like
Or like an alchemist.
Alchemist.
They've had so
I
much
imagine-
skin in the
feel like
game.
yeah,
He's-
like you really am like
he's never gonna. You can't take him out of hip
No,
hop.
but he doesn't, and he doesn't work within the industry no more. He kind of
He has his own record
He has
label.
his
Puts out,
own-
and
Yeah.
like everybody will work with him, but he's not going to work with
I
everybody.
think
He's
that's
not
also why when there's people that are like the OGs, like the Nas's, who have put like 5 albums out in the last like 3 years, when they barely put any albums out, that's the difference because now they like there's like a
well, it's adapt or die. Nas then
But-
got with Hit Boy, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
really reinvented the.
But I was gonna say too, like there's a
Nas
point-
sound.
I was gonna say like though, like Nas has enough money
He's
from
been investments,
Illmatic,
just
clearly,
investments.
yeah, and from investments.
Just
He's
residuals,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Just residuals.
Yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
have to rap.
Where he doesn't have to, and now he can rap and actually just be like whatever.
It sounds like he's having fun.
Well, it's
Totally.
like, to me, it'd be like, okay, I rapped my whole actual career, say 20 years,
Yeah,
no accolades, being
Yeah.
known, street legend,
yeah.
every artist's favorite artist type thing.
Yeah, you're
You
one
know
of the
what I
top
mean?
10s or
then
5s,
you
but
make
you're
your
never.
money somewhere else, and then you kind of come back and then have a resurgence where then now you're getting accolades.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why stop?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
why
It feels good. It feels good. I do off camera that video about dead presidents on Jay-Z's
Isn't that
Reasonable Doubt.
crazy?
It's crazy, and also though, like the dude tried to spin it
He did, but basically, it's just Nas gets paid off of every time.
off
you hear
every
that.
time you hear that. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
the-
That's
the meat of
basically
the
it.
bones.
Yeah. Because he tried to spin it. He's
But
as
they
like,
all do that to each other. I feel like.
that's what I would imagine. Because he did try to spin it like that when the album. And I was like, no, you're not
Track.
getting. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
track.
no, he owns
Yeah.
his portion
But
of the.
That is cool because like if you're gonna like they used to have the beef back in the day. And I'm like, well, at least you're making money.
Which I feel like is all propagated.
Generally,
And I feel like
Yeah.
behind the scenes are kind of a little bit more in
Like
cahoots
the,
than.
the Ether era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like
That was
they're
really
a little bit
that
more
was
in co-
fun to
It's-
watch.
yeah.
Just like now, though, what's going on
Yeah.
where you have the celebrity boxing matches and
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more fun than it really is a problem.
It doesn't like it seemed like it was like somewhat believably real, whereas now you're like you assume
It's not
everything's
real.
everything's manufactured.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah, because back then it was definitely like, oh, this shit's real as hell.
Do you remember like Real World and Road Rules?
Yeah, I just
Somewhat.
watched it.
Really?
hmm
So like I think that those ones were way less scripted than
Like
what
today's reality
than
shows.
what reality shows are today.
They definitely were
Less
way
producers,
less
like,
Way
influencing
less
stuff.
scripted and less influenced. We're like reality shows are scripted today, and it makes me like I was talking to one of the younger employees, and she was like blown away that reality shows are scripted. I was like, no, they're all scripted because like why would you like
But now I think they're scripted into the way. Okay, so like you said, Real World and stuff, that was way less scripted because they were really just getting people together, and then after the fact, they're kind of putting
Editing,
they're
like
editing a
manufacturing the
storyline
drama.
together.
Yeah.
To where now it's like on like Love and Hip Hop or anything new, they already know these people, so they're like, I already know if I put Johnny and Karen in the room together.
It's like just watch
gonna
two
pop.
What's
two
gonna-
fucking tigers in the cage and watch them fight.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily have to know exactly what's happening, but I know that there's going to be some conflict just by putting them on set
and the
together.
people knowing that they're going into they're gonna exaggerate the
Beef it up a little
behaviors.
more,
It's
you
like
know.
I think some static is real,
yeah.
It's-
but it's like they're playing it up.
It's
for sure.
real to a sense. Yes.
That is where
It's
I
wrestling.
think like people like you know I do
Wrestling's
understand when people feel really doubtful about certain things because like Jake and Logan Paul like beefing with each other as brothers like kind of thing, like I don't think that whether it's real or not, if you're putting it out on video, it's not real to me.
It's not as believable as it is. Yes.
Yes, because you're brothers, and I've fought with my brother countless times. Not in my older age.
But to hate them forever.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
100%. And it's like, I think that a lot of like that stuff doesn't, I don't know, it could be wrong, but I feel like it doesn't have much more longevity in
Everything's flashing.
Well, because we have like our short attention span gets shorter by the fucking years.
But I feel like doubt has increased. Like, I
That
think
too.
people are just like, I feel like really doubt people are like, that shit's not like, they're just faking it. Because like, when we were watching the boxing match the other day,
Everyone's like, is this fake?
it's
Is this
fake.
real? Is this
Instantly,
fake?
the first round, you're like, yeah, this is fake.
but
And then,
those punches were fucking real.
but
That's all
Like
that
what?
about you took. I was like, when you see one connector, you're like, is it fake?
that looked real.
he is
That looked
probably
real.
he is actually. I don't even know if he was pulling his punches, but the evidence spoke
don't-
volumes.
Yeah, he looked. Yeah,
You looked a mess, boy.
You
So
looked
you
like a
got
mess.
hit. You got hit somewhere.
for sure. Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
even if it's not real, it's that real as freaking. At least
Real
wrestling
enough.
and wrestling is they're hitting each other.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I mean,
that it's
not
like
full
everything's
impact.
everything's choreographed, but
not full, but
to a
they're-
certain extent, and
They're
you could-
flipping on the floor.
you can only
regardless.
like even if it's
throwing
padded,
themselves,
you're jumping
bro.
20 feet in the air,
Yeah,
landing
yeah,
on
yeah.
it's gonna hurt.
yeah.
even if you're on, like you said, a 4-inch pad.
Yeah, that's not
That's gonna
feel
hurt.
great.
That's why I think it's funny because like there is more doubt. Like whatever. Miami FC and Lionel Messi, they won a cup.
Oh yeah, they got the first.
They
cup.
got the first cup, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's a setup. It's a setup." I was like, "It could be," but like, if you watch every single game and like you watch like the plays, it's impossible to set some things up. Like it really, like you.
Well, it's just not even that. It's just like people are like, so one person can't make that much of a difference. Have you seen any sport?
Yeah, true.
Well, but too, it's like it's everybody's putting it on Messi.
Very
It's Messi. It's Messi. But dude, these
No.
are guys who played years together.
Yeah.
They have a chemistry.
Yeah,
they know how
Busquets
each
and
other.
Alba. Yeah.
Yeah, they know how each
They're
other
already
move, how they
professional.
think.
So then give them one of the best in the world.
Well,
Yeah,
give
it's
him,
gonna help
Give him 3 of the best in the world.
because
Like,
Yedlin's big too, right?
no, but you have Jordi Alba who played with Messi on Barcelona, and you have Sergio Busquets who played.
I thought Yedlin played with him too.
Yedlin he's a U.S. men's team. No, he is. But like
He's
I'm
good,
just saying, like
but-
you had Messi, Busquets, and Alba who all played together on Barcelona, and you had their coach who's now the Miami coach who was the Barcelona coach. So it's like you're right. Like it's not just Messi. It's like this team, and then you have the Yedlins, and then you have all these other kids who are like, "Fuck, I'm playing with the best. I can't be a chump."
They're already not
And
schmucks.
and now they're shining. It's
and then you
insane.
have the crowd.
It's
The crowd's
yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah.
Like that is like a
Like-
unknown factor.
Little off topic, but you guys would know about this for sure. Was that Wrexham US game setup?
Which Wrexham US game?
That tourney in Carolina.
Wasn't it Wrexham?
Wrexham-
Was it the second squad or the first squad they
It
played?
wasn't
like,
even either team's squads, to be honest. But it was the It was a tournament in
Yeah.
Carolina, and then Wrexham ended up playing the U.S. national women's team.
It was.
I didn't see that.
So it wasn't. It was scheduled.
It was all scheduled, but I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
the
yeah.
way the headlines read it, it's a setup, right?
I mean, it looked.
From both sides, they try to make it seem
Yeah,
worse than it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
They try to say if
Yeah.
you're, I guess, a Republican, they try to say, oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's designed. It's like
When I
to
saw that game announced,
have an emotional response.
Because both sides technically didn't have greatest or worst players.
at all, they had
on
their,
the
They had their
squads.
mids.
It's
They
not their
they
starting
all had
11.
None of them had starting
11. It was
None
all
of them had
mids.
starting. It was all mids.
Yeah.
So then that's when it's like, then you get the right or left publications leaning into that. It's like,
Yeah.
well, they had,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da-da, or they had, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Like those games are spectacles.
Bro, but that was, ass whooping.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I didn't even think that was cool.
that it wasn't. That's the point where I'm like, you should not have the men play the women in that sense, especially not with their top.
It was
teams, but-
mediocre for men and women.
Yeah.
And you just saw what happens from mediocre men and mediocre women.
Yeah, was 12.
12 zip.
Yeah,
And the only one that was touching the ball from the women was the goalie.
yeah. It's brutal. Yeah. Well, and also that comes, but like the
was
stature,
bad. I didn't
the
even hear about
stature is completely different.
I feel like that's also like
Physical
that's tarnishing
statures.
both sports to like
Yeah.
just to put on a spectacle.
It was a
to get
spectacle. Yeah,
eyes on it.
That's why it was like, is this a setup or not? Because granted, like
it
I
was
said,
a BS spectacle too.
Wrexham didn't have like, their striker was like almost a retired full, you know? He played EPL though, but he's like retired. But
Yeah.
the dude, just to Sean's point, he's like 6'4",
Yeah, he's
200
huge.
something pounds.
Yeah.
That's a big
Bro,
wow.
and I don't know if they were or not, but the dudes were kind of half striding.
It didn't look like they were pushing hard. I don't know.
Game hard.
I will say though, I don't know.
I don't know if they weren't though. That's what I'm saying.
But
I
don't know if they weren't, and also I don't know any of those players
at all.
At all.
How they look
so
naturally.
I
Either
can't
squad?
even either squad. I didn't know anybody's name. I didn't know
They're probably
anyone.
not even in the they're probably what's that NWSL?
NWSL, yeah.
Yeah, like they're
I
probably
don't know if the girls were in the NWSL. Like I don't know.
Oh
like,
no, what's like because there's MLS and there's what's the other national
well, that's
soccer
for
league?
men's.
Everybody
But is
playing
there
though,
for
there's
men's-
a second tier?
But women's is NWSL.
Yeah,
everybody
Anyway.
was playing though was basically like an amateur because who won
Yeah.
was like from North Carolina, like
Yeah.
some squad that they put together, like a private
like
squad.
not even
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It was like a private squad from North Carolina that won. So it was all like funny, but I was just like, why is that even
I could see the motivations because they are like they have all these eyes from their TV show, and then I'm like maybe that they're just trying to raise money so they could buy better
It was
players for their
crazy though,
squad.
to the point to where the striker from the men's team just kept on clapping the goalie because she was just like, literally, she was just making like the craziest
Insane
saves.
Like
so
working
many.
overtime,
Dude.
earning that paycheck and shit.
Dude.
She was. I'm telling you, she was the only one who
The
touched
percentage
the ball.
of the ball was with her for the whole game. Like it was ridiculous.
It was like the possession was like
But
40%.
There
but it
was no
all the
like I don't even
keeper.
know if there was a kick on goal for the women's team.
Yeah, it was like, and so for that, to me, I do think what the main goal of that whole thing is
It
to
was
make
a
Wrexham
yeah.
a
Look-
U.S. household
look good,
name,
yeah.
make them look good enough, and bring attention to Wrexham, so money goes into Wrexham from the U.S. and that's
That's
the
what I was saying. Was
sponsor
it
there?
because
That's
it
the
looked like it was
sponsor.
a setup.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
a
Well, 'cause look, did you see
setup.
that they're playing-
Because that's what they did. That's why Wrexham didn't play any
of their
major team.
Well, they played Galaxy, but the second
Galaxy
squad.
2. They played
Which is
Galaxy
like,
2.
okay.
They played another MLS teams 2. They never played the main team. And I was like, the only reason why is because you guys made a deal that says, hey, we have to have the best chance of winning. We can't make Wrexham look bad because we want to be the American team in UK.
Do you think LAFC could beat the
Destroy
starting
them.
Wrexham's? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they would. I think
they definitely would beat the team that was playing for.
I
whatever
think it would be a
tournament this
really,
was.
really good game. But I think if both teams are playing their best, LAFC beats them.
Do you think Wrexham can beat Galaxy? Because Galaxy's
Right now, yeah, because Galaxy's bad. But like, take
What
out
about
that.
Miami?
No, Miami would win. Miami
Do you
would.
think LAFC can beat Miami?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's next week. That's next week. I don't.
Dude, we should watch.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Is it a Saturday?
Saturday. I
LA
think.
better play their people.
Bro,
Their
let's catch that game.
They better like real play.
Like put your people. Yeah,
put
your
like
people there.
put your people in like.
Christian or
Fuck it, put
Gareth
the
Bale
Falcon
come
in.
out
I
of
don't give a fuck.
retirement. You just see comes in. Did you see that footage of like
The
there's
Falcon getting attacked?
no
No, that happened.
the Falcon got attacked or he
Yeah,
By another Falcon?
By another Falcon.
like
and
a wild feral falcon.
Like something like that happened, and it
Rival
had to be
team's
it,
Falcon?
it had to be put in a little Falcon rehab.
Damn.
It was all traumatized.
Yeah, dude, it couldn't Falcon for the
They
game.
couldn't falcon out.
Couldn't
Yeah,
be full Falcon they wanted to be.
like Jesus.
Did you see Messi has his bodyguard that follows him around everywhere?
That was hilarious. Slapping
Ex-Navy
the people's
SEAL.
hands.
Yeah,
Ex-Navy SEAL knows like all these martial arts and shit.
I would want a dude who knows Krav Maga. I would feel very safe.
I feel like he would get to the person a little too slow for me. He would be trying to like Tai Chi him away.
No,
Krav Maga's all
It's all
Krav Maga's
defense.
all like
That's a defense one,
close
right?
quarters.
Yeah,
like
close quarters.
You have to like
It's all
punch,
close.
and then
It's
I
like-
use your momentum.
no,
against you.
no. You're
That's
thinking
judo.
that's judo,
and Taekwondo.
or yeah, no, that's Taekwondo.
Both.
Yeah, because you're using the body.
So what's
It's a lot of
Maga?
it's
Krav
Oh,
Maga.
that's
is-
the Brazilian shit.
No,
with
that's
the-
Israeli.
No, that's Israeli is the Krav Maga. Brazilian is
capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yes,
That's
what I was
entertaining. You see him
Dude,
just like
I saw a video of a gentleman who
DJ.
had a giant
Shout out
belly,
Tekken.
like a big belly
Doing it?
dude, doing capoeira like it was like he was doing the flips and the hand spins and
What
the
is
high
the
kicks
one? Because
and
I don't
stuff.
know it, but they're like, it seems like they're of Indian descent, and they're just slapping each other in unison, like on their chest.
I don't know.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it looks crazy, bro. And I don't know if it's like the first one to tap out, basically.
Just slapping each
Slapping?
other.
Isn't that the
gotta show
Russian
you.
slapping contest?
It looks like that, but
That's
it's
crazy.
like, dude, it's literally they're just freaking, and they do it in unison. Like they hit each other at the same time. It's like chest to chest. It looks like pa pa.
I don't
pa,
think that's
pa.
a martial art of any sort. I think that's
It
just hitting
has
each
to
other.
be.
How? There's no technique. If you're just slapping each other in unison, we could do that. Do you want to make it an
That
American
was the
martial
most
art?
American statement ever of you saying, Josh.
Well, you just said from
I
what you're
don't-
say're saying, they're just slapping each other in
That's
unison.
what-
They're not protecting. They're just hitting each other.
They're just slapping the shit out of each other.
Well, that's what martial arts is. You're doing katas to air.
I think you need to show a video because literally all I'm seeing
what-
is
yeah,
just
what do you-
yeah.
But that's what they're doing. I can't.
That's not martial arts.
That's
then.
emotional. That's just taking pain.
They're doing. It's.
Mm.
That's what
Huh?
they're doing. I
Huh?
can't. It's like it's a unison. Okay, so for me to properly describe it, I would say it's like they're almost performing a dance to where they're moving in unison with each other, but all they're doing is hitting each other on the chest.
I need to
Don't.
see a
I
video.
think that's a choreographed thing. I don't think they're actually like sparring or anything. Then
I don't know. But while you bring that up,
I know where you're going.
you just said Russian slapping. Speaking of Russia, oh wait, we're watching this video.
It says India's slap boxing. Slap boxing. That's not martial arts. That's slap
Yeah,
boxing.
they literally just look like big old dude.
Wait, so now we're saying like boxing isn't a martial art?
I said slap boxing.
So it could be something that they've done forever. That's what I'm saying.
but it's not a martial art.
That's a big
Why
boy.
not?
Because they're just fucking slapping each other.
So in boxing, I can say they're just hitting each other.
I
till
said
they're
slap
unconscious.
boxing. Slap boxing is not the same as boxing.
I wish we could. Can we somehow put this up on the screen?
Yeah,
That's
you're
what I'm
gonna-
saying. Like I don't know how else to
No,
describe
but can you show this
Yeah,
on?
I can
Yeah,
put it-
yeah. Clip.
Like it's something. Obviously, what they do. Look at this. Like that's
I
something.
literally just looks like dudes just
That looks
slapping.
like that Rocky movie where they're like with Michael B. Was it Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
The first movie when the reboot of the franchise where they're just punching each other, not defending. They're
Yeah.
just punching the shit out
Yeah,
of each
yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I would never diminish a whole culture.
I'm not diminishing the culture. I'm saying that's fuck. They're just
It
fucking.
looks like that to you as an American, right? This obviously isn't something that we do in America, right? This obviously
no,
isn't in America.
no. We used to do
That
that.
looks
in
like a
fucking
bar
junior
fight.
high. Yeah,
That's
you do
what that
shit.
looks like. Looks like a. I mean, they into it. No, I
It's
see.
a thing. Like I don't know how else. It's like
Yeah,
just
no,
because
I
it
know
looks
it's
funny,
a thing. No,
like,
I see it's a thing. There's a
But
whole crowd.
You're equating slap boxing to Krav Maga.
yeah,
I don't
I'm
think
saying
that's
it
the
could
same.
Be something that they.
It's something, but it's not that.
Yeah, I don't think they're the same. Oh, he got.
It's not the same.
I'm not saying it's not brutal.
Okay, now they're throwing each other.
Well,
That
you
was-
just said you said that they were fucking doing that shit in unison, like it was a
That's what Krav
choreographed thing.
Maga is, right? Or the Kappa one.
Kappa.
That's
Yeah, the
like
whole
it's like
point
almost
is-
like a unison dance. To
Yeah,
where you're not hitting
you're not
each
supposed
other
to hit
and
the
you're-
other person, but
it's
every
like-
single hit's supposed to be like a
It's the
lethal
same
one.
thing.
I suppose.
Just because this looks more barbaric, I guess.
No, I mean,
I
I
think
sense.
you're diminishing. You just called them barbaric.
no, I just think this one's all slapping. It's
it's
cool.
just slapping.
It's cool. That dude's running from. There's always one running because the other guy's way
I guess
bigger.
I could see that. So, like, it would be like how, like, the slap league
it's like Fight
isn't
Club,
like a
but with
real
slapping.
thing.
I mean, anything's a thing now. There's some crazy.
But that's what I'm saying because there's the
sports.
slap league.
Yeah.
Right? You've seen the
Dude,
slap league.
I'm not
There's a
diminishing what it is,
tag
but I'm
league.
just saying it's not martial arts in the traditional sense.
Okay,
It's-
I'm gonna change the subject because it's yes or no on the martial arts. But you were
Talk about
speaking
Russia?
about Russia, and
They got crazy martial arts.
I mean, okay, so thank you for saying that because it actually goes into what I was thinking. So the leader of that Wagner Group that was like the mercenaries. I don't
Did
know how
he
to
die?
say his name.
Yevgeny Prigozhin.
Is he
Yeah.
dead?
So
Prigozhin.
supposedly he was on the plane. Supposedly the plane went down, and supposedly now he's dead. That's
They're
all the
saying
alleged.
Then there's allegedly Russia shot down the
Russia
plane.
shot down
They
the
said
plane.
it blew
Russia-
up, right?
Yeah, like it
It
yeah.
didn't hit nothing. It blew up,
Yeah,
right?
like it went. Yeah. It just it went down.
It pulled a Titan.
I don't think it imploded. No, I
Yeah.
definitely don't think it imploded.
It
But-
went into the water and it dove down. And
But
then it started from there.
to like I guess you were kind of sort of saying it makes me think like so one thing I always wonder like what Russia news like
Looks like?
looks like about American things. Like I'm so curious about that.
You
Like
know what it looks like.
I don't. No, I can assume. I can assume.
But I think,
I don't really know.
Your assumption's pretty accurate
because I don't officially know. But like, two big headlines of Russian news that I saw this week. One was the Wagner leader going down the airplane, dying, and for people who don't know, there was a coup that was supposed to be happening.
Moscow. They made it to Moscow.
He was the leader of it.
Were they going to somewhere?
To Kremlin.
They were going to the Kremlin. They made it to Moscow because Russia's military forces were spread thin because that whole thing in Ukraine. So the door was open, and like there's a lot of Russians in the Wagner Group, so they just went straight in. I think a lot of the Russian military would just throw down their weapons. They're like, we're not fighting you guys.
Yeah, we're not trying to do it.
Especially they're way more well equipped, they're professional soldiers. They're mercenaries.
Team 6, yeah.
And but then it was like almost like a performative, like we're not going to,
okay.
but we can if
we wanted to right now. We could.
It was a theatrics.
Somewhat, yeah.
It was kind of like a flex.
After that,
I believe there were casualties, but then I'm like,
oh, they did.
You're gonna. I can't say 100%, but I'm sure there were injuries, if not.
And then he fled to Belarus.
Yeah, because they said to everybody in Wagner Group, besides the leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin, like that, anybody in Wagner Group can join the Russian military. You will have no military action or court martial against you.
Yeah,
but they're like, you can't go against Putin and expect no repercussions, right?
100%. So that takes me to the second thing that I saw on the news, and I'd love to hear more from you on this. But the second thing was that supposedly Russian troops right now have put a hit out on Putin, and basically it says like there's like a shoot to or like a bounty, like go kill him.
I think that could be like Western propaganda.
That's why I wonder.
Like you believe that?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm so curious on what is heard on the other side
because that will not be put in Russian media because it's state controlled.
Yeah,
but then it's a lot of what's it called, psyops, like psych warfare or something.
Them psyops
on between Western and Russian, and then in between Eastern Europe and then Western Europe. There's a lot of just like, it's hard to believe anything within that.
We can't even believe what we tell ourselves.
That's why you can't believe you don't believe what your government says. Whether this is very controversial because I'm like, you guys need to vote in your local elections. That's what counts. But I'm like, I don't necessarily believe
that you can see
county, state,
but you can try to.
Yeah.
Do you think that the leader was on the airplane and went down?
But it's also like, did he fake his own death?
That's what I think.
It's like, why would he die?
Why would you trust any sort of media, whether Western or Eastern media, on something that involves Putin and a Russian mercenary? Like,
plus,
what can you believe in that?
If you were a leader that was trying to throw a coup, why would you get in a plane in Russian air, in any remote Russian airspace?
And Belarus is friendly to
friendly Russia, yeah.
Government.
Since we know about like the Russian mercenaries and stuff like that,
yeah.
Who does Russia propagate to their people are American mercenaries?
Blackstone? Blackwater? Is that it?
That's
Blackwater
dope.
is an American mercenary group. Yeah,
yeah. I think
a lot of those are ex-military.
You hear?
Yeah.
You see the dude from that killed Bin Laden got arrested?
Yeah, for like public intoxication and assault.
He was probably out there. I killed
my hands. It was in like
that
where the fuck
sucks,
in
dude.
Texas. In Texas, right?
Yeah.
Sucks.
I'm telling you, he's losing it probably because he's seeing
He didn't get no money from that probably.
Joe Budden of all people interviewed that guy,
really?
Which is total two different worlds. And that guy, he was already seeming like he was.
I think so did football is nice. Russell Brand. I think Russell Brand.
He probably did. He was on a little run, probably.
Yeah.
But he was like already like messed up because he's like, I did all this for the country, and then it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
yeah, because like I mean, there's like a whole thing with like America doesn't give a shit about its soldiers after they leave the military. They don't. They really don't. I think that's like
they don't care about
them when they're there. Yeah,
yeah. They don't care about
it's a
citizens
facade.
in general. Which that's a whole.
I mean, the whole idea that there's a soldier that's above a citizen.
But I feel like it's so sad when like lifelong soldiers, the veil finally drops. and then they see.
Like, yeah, there's no like easing
I
in
feel
back into civvy life.
No,
No.
because you've like
There's no
everything
transition.
is totally just like, wait.
Oh, you go from a war zone
And then
to
you start
like
thinking like, I'm a killer.
And I did it for this.
I kill innocent people for this.
Yeah, for this.
Maybe got one
for
or
this
two.
Bud Light.
Maybe one or
For
two
the
that we
stop
can
sign?
both say are bad.
Yeah,
but
I got
the
some bad
majority,
people, but
75% of them were just casualties of war.
yeah,
It's hard because like we were talking about the whole terrorism label and stuff. It's like
Such
if
a
anybody invaded your country, wouldn't you do the same thing? And you'd be labeled as an insurgent.
yeah, right. Also, for the record, all those people that love Star Wars, Luke Skywalker was a rebel insurgent.
He's a
and
terrorist.
He's a terrorist,
He's a terrorist.
technically.
He's a terrorist.
Yeah.
Darth Vader was
Darth Vader was
Bush?
basically.
no.
He was just trying to keep
Whatever
peace.
US president.
Yeah,
He was just
technically, he's trying to keep
peace.
They're
peace.
trying to spread democracy.
Yeah, man,
by
so-
getting everybody to obey them.
So, if you guys like Mark Hamill, just so you know, you're for a terrorist.
We are all for terror. We want just our terror to be what we're for.
We need American brand terror.
That was potent. Yeah, I agree.
That is it.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, because that is the real reason why I just got so curious about the Russia thing. I was like, damn, man. I wonder if they just hear stuff like what their news is like some wild. It's got to be some wild America being. There goes America with their democratic wildness.
Oh, they were loving it on January 6th. I bet they're like these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Or,
for
like, they
sure.
think-
Everybody except this country was like probably laughing, having
Yeah.
a lot of
Having a
memes.
fucking
I didn't see
heyday
any of
with
those
it.
memes.
I mean, it's the
but I'm
same
sure
way
they
how
were
we
great.
think of people over there. We're like, either they're just all cold, heartless killers that just drink vodka.
We're just cold, heartless killers that drink whiskey, or tequila
you know what I mean?
or something like that. you know?
And then when you think about it, we really don't got too many differences.
Nope, not at all.
like
lot
you
more
were saying, there's
similar.
more
Yeah.
similarities. And
Yeah.
like I was saying, like a lot of these Arab countries, like the only thing that's separating us is like is
A
the
few
religion.
small
Is
things
there-
in religion, though.
But
even
the
we
re-
can
well,
correlate-
the religion
Yeah,
is the
but
big
the
thing.
religion is-
It's,
It is the
it's
big
huge. It's
thing,
like
but-
it's the same God.
Yeah, it's the same
for all
exactly.
intents and purposes.
Yeah, for all intents.
all these
Yeah.
religions, same God. If they believe in this monotheistic thing, but it's like they
One wants to say Jesus is the Messiah. One wants to
Let's
say,
say
he is
Jesus
Messiah.
is a prophet.
One wants to say he's a prophet.
Yeah.
And that's really the biggest differences. I think all of them acknowledge
both like,
everyone's
both
presence.
America and Saudis, they hate immigrants. They hate immigrants.
Yeah.
They both say they're taking our jobs.
Yep.
It's all scapegoating. It's all like a lot
They
of
also
suppression
both
of
use
underclass.
immigrants to do all of the groundwork.
build everything, build
All
the whole
the
infrastructure of the country. So
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
that's nice.
I think
Yeah.
that's just human nature.
Did you hear
Of
that?
powers.
Because like you both heard that India, they landed on the moon.
Yeah.
That is super dope.
First,
But I want to know tell me the relevance, because I know it's got to be important.
well, Sean, you were talking about it earlier. Would you care to elaborate?
Yeah, so they are the first country that's or first ever that's landed on the South Pole. So no
Where
one
is the South Pole again? Not in that sense, but what continent is it on?
No, the South Pole they landed on the South Pole
Of the moon.
of the moon.
Oh.
So just I guess
Yeah.
that's kind of hard to differentiate because it probably.
I would just generally imagine. I mean, it's from our northern hemisphere. Because I guess we're on the northern hemisphere. It's the bottom of the moon because the southern hemisphere.
It's the part that receives the least amount of sun.
Probably the dark side of the
Yeah.
moon.
yeah.
Basically, yeah, you're not wrong.
So they're the first ones to land on that side. They're only the third country ever to land on the moon. It's the only ones ever land on the moon are U.S., China, and now India. Russia tried and it failed.
They got really, really close
What was
to
it?
their
Sputnik?
No.
that
Sputnik's the first
was
satellite.
the first satellite.
But
Yeah,
they were doing the landing, I believe, Russia, and then either they lost contact, there was a malfunction, and they right at the finish line, they just lost contact and crashed.
It
The
did
lunar
one of
lander
those.
crashed, so
Mhm.
crash and burn.
but I think the other big thing is okay, so if a country and one of the more established, more powerful countries in terms
Has a
of
nuke or two.
of nukes, yeah, and in terms of population, if they're putting money in to get to the moon, one has to ask, what's the interest or investment in there? And
It's not a race at this point.
not at all. Why would you? What's the point to say, "Oh, I did it"? There's other things to do, but there are untapped resources on the moon. They're the first ones to go to the south, which means that they can test the southern grounds and the soils and everything there to see what resources are in there. So it's a huge deal ultimately that now that there's only for people to think like are always the people that are always on Team America, like England never been to the moon, France never been to the moon, Germany never been to the moon. But these ones that are like big names. So
they've been to the moon through us because we're American.
But they've
been to the space
they've
station.
been to the space
International
station,
Space
but never to the moon. So anybody putting something on the moon is a huge deal, and ultimately, I think it's a huge deal because there are resources there. And we were talking about, I think, Africa last one. When you think about
vast amount of resources,
exactly,
most dense resource, natural resource.
That's where they're getting everything for lithium batteries. It's
so
heavy metals, precious metals are coming from Africa.
Yeah, so I think
titanium, lithium,
uranium.
uranium.
When it comes into like an untapped source, if you can land something on the moon and you can drill. I don't know if they're. I think it's like the Chandrayaan 3. I don't know if it can drill. I don't know if it's taking. I'm sure it's taking samples though. But ultimately, the whoever country can actually start mining those resources is going to.
Well, do you know the at least the stated mission of the Chandrayaan 3?
No,
it is to explore because they've seen in like either satellites or previous satellite imagery that there's like frozen, like
the
there's
ice
ice,
sheath,
there's
right?
ice.
Yeah.
So they're like they want to examine or see if there is ice on the moon, but like not. They want to see if it's ice mixed in with the dirt and not like minerals and ice like mixed together and stuff. So the whole mission is to. Because people want to put astronauts on the moon, as in like to I think as a colony.
Yeah.
So to whether to go deeper into space or to mine for resources, that is I think the biggest step. Probably more so than just landing on the moon. They want to like extract resources, and so that is the big first step. And it's really impressive actually because of the budget is like a shoestring budget compared to Russia, compared to United States, because like
that's a funny pun since they don't wear shoes out there. I'm just kidding.
I'm not touching that one.
I know it was just funny.
But
I was talking about construction, like the videos I see.
I spit
they
on
have
my
no
mic.
OSHA. They're OSHA. That's what I'm
There's
talking
not
about.
much OSHA outside of the United States.
what
I
I'm
will
talking
definitely
about,
say
yeah.
that.
But you know they launched the mission last month, like in July, because they wanted to be very like just slow and deliberate and save fuel. Whereas I think Russia, they launched 12 days later, but they never made it like fully intact onto the moon.
How developed are they? Like they make a lot of money, right?
They're the most populous country in the world.
That's what what took so long for them? Because they're
But
smart
they don't
too
have
as a nation, right?
But they don't have money in terms of like
they
percentage.
don't make
of,
anything that they import or
percentage
anything, right?
of population in terms of the it's not.
I got you.
Nowhere the same.
They export a lot of like because they're great with science and math, so they export a lot of brain power. Like
That's what
scientists,
but they actually
engineers,
don't export
doctors.
products.
Yeah, well, it's because it's
know.
so populous, but it's a relatively small swath of land compared to
Very
North
small.
America.
Yeah.
Compared to like Russia, Russia's fucking
They
huge.
know, like as a country, they're smart, or a nation, they're
yeah,
smart.
shout out India. That's
Generally,
very,
like I don't want to like
impressive.
put that on them because they could
I'm
be
saying
like
smarter
one
than
thing.
American on
But
general.
generally, there's a like like I'll
Higher
take
standard.
Higher standard of education.
Yeah, for all the software companies I've ever worked with, generally the outsourcing has started with India.
It was just like saying, they care about education a little more in China than they do here. That's obvious.
Oh yeah, for sure. Have you seen that?
That's all I'm saying.
Have
It's
you
like,
seen that?
it's
They're
obvious they care about that stuff way
they're
more than
introducing AI into
I did see
classrooms
that.
in
They
China.
had-
where
it's crazy.
the
That's a little
Halo
crazy, though. I don't know if I like.
that's
Creepy.
very dystopian, very
It
Big Brother.
is.
I'm like, they're only going to get more advanced, but it's like,
But that's our privilege being Americans. We can think like that.
but no, I mean, like they're only going to get
To them, that's absolutely normal. Like I would assume even the adults would think that's just a natural transition.
Well, like because they had to get approval from all the adults,
exactly,
and
and
they didn't have any sort of funny feelings.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's just a natural because of how
Individual
society
freedoms.
is.
Yeah,
they're not really that caring about the government looking at them because they know they're
already surveilled.
They already know they are.
All of a lot of technology, surveillance technology over here, it was all pioneered in China.
Well,
They
don't care. So it's like we were like, don't take down the lights at the red light. I may not have been driving my car. It may have been somebody else.
You were talking about the India thing though, and like I think it's also a big deal because when you think about BRICS, and
yeah.
So if you, I don't know, do you know what
They
BRICS?
built the rockets out of bricks?
No,
That'd be very impressive.
wow. That would also not hold up in space, I don't think. I think there'd be some type of, that would definitely be like a Titan.
The thermal,
bro, that would be a
know,
Titan scenario
durability.
for sure.
That'd be crazy.
So BRICS is, what's the B?
BRICS is
Because
it's
Russia,
it's a
India,
multinational-
China, South Africa.
Brazil,
It's a
Russia.
conglomerate of countries?
Yeah, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. There are other countries, but they are kind of
Main.
being, they want to be this new
United
kind
Nations?
of like economic superpower. Because
Economic.
all of these countries are on like an upward trajectory.
Yeah.
In terms of influence, economic, and like just political
Power.
And they had a summit. I think this is like their 13th or 15th annual summit in South Africa, just to like figure out a bunch of shit. Like they want to have, I don't want to say a rival to the World Bank because that's like kind of like diminishing the thing, but like an alternate banking system so they avoid fluctuations in terms of like fiat currency and stuff. And like because I think most transactions like through trade are based on the US dollar value, no matter what countries are using it. So I think it gives them stronger economic power in terms of trading between those countries. And a lot of other countries, actually, I believe India is undecided, but South Africa and Russia want to introduce new members. I'm sure they're going to have to change those acronyms, but like I think
Brick
like
house.
places like Saudi Arabia
Yeah.
and like a bunch of other nations, France expressed interest in joining, but Russia said no because they have support for Ukraine in the that Ukrainian.
Oh, so
war.
Russia's a part of the brick house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brazil,
So we can't
Russia, India, China.
We'll never join.
Well, we.
I
Like,
mean, we
on
already
principle, we'd
we
never-
already do. That's the weird thing about politics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's
we're
like
in cahoots with everybody except a couple.
It's pretty much like it's like
I think
it's
only
like old. It's like a
North
new Cold War.
Korea.
That's what I'm saying. There's like, well,
Like, I really
yeah,
think
you're
it's
right.
only North
and
Korea.
I think even to that extent, we're in somewhat cahoots.
I mean, I'm sure there's a communique
There
that's
has to
happened.
be.
Yeah, but I do think, okay, so you have like the crazy thing about BRICS. You have Brazil, which I think is the number one exporter of wood because of the Amazon,
Oh,
and they're also
Probably
one,
definitely rubber.
yeah, and they're also one of the most
Palm oil as well.
They're one of the fastest growing economies. On health, I mean, it's definitely detrimental because they're kind of growing too fast to actually stabilize the actual environment. But they're a huge up and comer. They're also an enormous size of a country.
and booty.
And booty.
BBL's exporter.
And then you like you have Russia enormous and they have oil. You have India, which is number one, the largest population. We already were talking about at least the educational exports of their people, but then you also just had them land on the moon. China doesn't need an introduction at all. And then South Africa, last time we were talking about all of the goods that are in Africa, and if they are the connector, the first one of like many that would come from Africa, that's a pretty damn powerful group. Like,
and
Well,
if they have
well-
they're in the Western Hemisphere as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, America, we got like all our social problems, so that should put us somewhere, right?
we can export that, right?
we for sure.
That's
I mean, I
something
think
that's a commodity. We can commodify that, right?
Isn't America's number one export the like our entertainment? Isn't
believe so.
entertainment and that's basically
I believe so.
that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I mean, and dude, all you need India, Bollywood take over. What we gonna do?
I would like to watch more Bollywood movies. I'll be honest.
It's a lot.
It's a lot,
It's a
and
lot.
and it would take some adjustment. But like K-pop and like K-dramas are so like not K-pop, but K-dramas are so popular with like Americans. Like not so much like millennials, but a lot of Gen Z watch K-dramas. Is super popular.
Would you call what was
Like
the
Alice
one?
in Borderland or something like that.
That's
Squid Games, is that like
Squid Games.
That's Korean.
So that's
Yeah.
K-pop.
No,
K-drama?
that's like
Yeah,
K-dramas are like soap operas.
Okay. Okay.
They're self-contained like series, but like I mean, but
Well, I
that
just know
speaks-
their gore is way better than American gore.
It's insane. They have no. You ever the Train to Bhutan was the
Busan,
first
yeah.
one. Busan.
Korean gore
like,
from
whoa.
films horror just kills American.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if they tried to emulate ours, but they kill
Well,
ours.
that's the whole thing. They do emulate a lot of Western stuff, but it's like a lot of Japanese stuff. Like they take what they learned about Western media, and then they
apply it.
put their own spin on it. And a lot of it's a lot
shit,
better.
that one went off.
It's overtaking. Yeah, BRICS overtaking the
World Bank.
The World Bank. Speaking of overtaking, it's not the same, and this might be reducing it extremely terribly, but Barbie overtaking Dark Knight.
Yeah, as Warner Brothers' most profitable movie ever.
That's wild when you think, because I don't know. When I hear Warner Brothers and I think about like growing up watching like Batman, you know, with like cartoons and stuff like that, and like all the WB and everything like that, the fact that Barbie is the number one grossing.
I kind of like feel like that's a arbitrary or inflated stat.
No, they're taking inflation into account and everything.
Please go into that. What's the, I don't know what you mean.
Social climate, what we're backing, social status.
How's social status put into it?
Well, what we're pushing as a society, the death of the matriarchy or whatever, patriarchy. Whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. The life of the matriarchy. So I just feel that it's kind of an inflated number.
How is it inflated though? You're giving facts of like, oh, this is why the movie's doing so well. How is it inflated? You would say.
What is it? 10 years difference?
I mean,
well, this is box office, so it's like
that's what I'm saying, about 10 years difference, right? Because we're talking about Dark Knight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so about
probably more than that.
More than that,
like
right?
15.
So I'm just saying, obviously,
no, but that's taking inflation into account.
Are they?
Yeah.
Monetary inflation?
Well, that's what I would think.
Social
monetary
inflation?
I don't think that they're taking social inflation into
I don't think.
I mean,
but I think that's a real thing. That's what I'm talking about.
But like, how does that? Wouldn't social inflation always be the thing that caters to the number one thing at the time? So Barbie is able to be as big as it is right now because of the socially it works, but Dark Knight was able to be as big as it is right then because of the social climate.
I don't think anybody was fighting for male rights when Dark Knight came out.
No, but when Dark Knight came out, it was a cool time to be like liking the bad guy. It was kind of like there was a sense of being like, yeah, stick it to the man. And
well, there just wasn't that many good quality like superhero movies either. Like it was a new thing. Like that was one of the first good superhero movies.
And to this day, probably still one of
it's super dope. I'm just saying that I just personally feel that, for one, it's easier to get females to take guys to a movie. So if it's a movie more females want to go see, I feel like that would be easier to get more people. Dark Knight, I don't think appeals to females. You know what I'm saying? I feel like guys are going to go with their ladies to the movies. I don't feel like ladies would necessarily go with the dude to a movie.
Do you think men go to the movies more or women go to the movies more?
I don't know that number. It's probably relative, but I don't know. Maybe it is more. I don't know. I don't know.
What's on your chest?
On my chest.
What do you think?
On my chest.
Give me your uncensored opinion.
Yeah. Just what do you think
on movies?
Because
men.
I think too.
On my chest, I would say men.
Yeah, men.
Well, I think more movies in general are catered towards men.
Yeah,
that's why I feel like with the Barbie movie being catered to who it was for, it's really easy for them to garner really big ticket sales.
Well, I'd say out of our group right here, only 33% of the people in this group saw it.
Yeah, I definitely want to go see that movie.
And I had no desire to. Mm-mm. So in that sense, but all three of us saw Dark Knight.
Of course.
I don't even know if I saw it in theaters, though. I've seen it multiple times, but I don't know if I saw it.
Oh, not in theaters. I didn't see it in theaters, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely
if I actually saw it in
theaters.
Definitely. No, I did. I did see it in theater. Yeah.
I definitely didn't see it in theater. Bought the first video game, but I definitely didn't see it.
Video game? I mean, I guess, like, I don't really...
It's like saying almost, and these are the same artists, but it's like, Travis Scott sell this many records first week versus Kanye West selling this many first week. 10 years apart. The landscape is different for consuming. The landscape is different for marketing.
Same target audience, though.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. It is.
Josh said that monetarily, for inflation, it was...
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know about socially.
But I'm not talking about social.
I don't know if social, because it doesn't matter if the monetary amounts are I don't know. I don't know if that matters. Then
I think too, it's because there's so many like now it like if it's a good movie is a good movie by any count, or I mean that's subjective anyway. But like it's Barbie's just a different movie. Like there's so many.
Did you like it? Did you like not just enjoy it, but like did you walk out and be like, I really thought that was a damn good movie?
I thought it was a good movie. It was funny. Like there were no jokes that landed like, oh, it was funny. And I feel like there's a lot of movies that try really hard, not funny, it was funny, it was entertaining. It wasn't trying to like, it didn't change my life. Like I had no attachment to Barbie or the things. But it was funny. It was entertaining.
Do you think it lives as long as Batman or Dark Knight? Is it going to get a trilogy off of it?
Well, it's going to be forced. It's going to be a forced trilogy.
Because
they're making a whole Mattel universe off of just
so they're making like a DC Marvel thing.
Yeah, they're just they're doing Hot Wheels. They're doing fucking Uno. They're
all going to blend together.
Jeez.
It's going to be. I don't think they're going to like integrate it, but just because capitalism, they're going to try and
they own the IP. So
the whole thing is crazy because like Warner Brothers is like more than 100, maybe even 200, no, maybe $130 billion in debt.
Ooh.
And
what is that debt to?
How do you have 130 billion in debt?
I have no fucking clue.
That's my question. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is because they brought in the new CEO, I don't know what the fuck his name is, but he's brought in to cut costs for everything. That channel Turner Classic Movies?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very niche audience for that.
Yeah.
But
lifestyle.
Older.
Selling that. He's selling all the music rights to like Grease, like fucking not high school.
Is
music,
WB sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
Is WB DC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So WB did like Black Adam and like
and
Big
so
Flash.
Okay, so
Flash, or the Arrow.
The Arrow.
So
on the
that might be a little bit different because that's a TV. That's the TV thing, but it's same universe. But I mean, this is to add to that kind of narrative of the Flash. It
didn't do too well. Huh?
It is the biggest loss for a superhero movie ever. It lost about 200 million.
That's more than didn't do too well. Damn.
And it was a Batman movie. This is kind of like connecting like.
Do you think that was because
they made it a Batman movie to try and I think because they were like, oh, multiverse with Marvel making some money, like the idea
they already had
wanted
the
to bring a
TV show
Batman.
that was kind of success, right?
Yeah. Do you think some of that Ezra Miller being like
his problems messed up
problems and stealing kids?
I don't think that impacted it. I think it was just because like you're seeing them on the red carpet, like Hollywood was treating them as like nothing
he was
ever happened.
There? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know.
Like they're like, oh, Ezra Miller
Hollywood's
makes
wild.
Yeah. And so I don't think that had any impact on at least from my point of view. I think it was just not a good movie. And it's been in production for like 10 years and they've had so many reshoots. It's just like it was kind of almost doomed from the start.
Well, again, my question from weeks before, is landscape just changing for film?
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, like a good movie is a good movie.
I think I think when things are outdone, they're outdone, which is not only what we were talking about with like, I don't think anyone really gets excited about a superhero movie anymore. Like, I mean, I liked Dark Knight Batmans. I liked pretty much all three of the Christopher Nolan ones. I liked the new Batman with Robert Pattinson. I thought it was really
Robert Pattinson.
I thought it was good. Most of the other movies, even with stuff with like Marvel, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was pretty good, but generally, like, it's not like you're being excited by something you didn't know.
But that's what I feel like with Barbie, though. They had all this outside marketing. They had collaborations here, collaborations there, influencers here, influencers there.
And, totally.
Let's link in here, let's lock in there, let's make this, let's
and that
make
does
that.
make
It's
okay.
different.
So yeah, I could see.
And the landscape's
So what
different.
you're saying is like,
I'm saying people
their
weren't
marketing
is just what's making
it stronger.
The difference.
Yeah, and I do think marketing.
I don't think the movie or the writing is any worse or less, or better or worse. I just feel like it's a different landscape. So these kind of records are made to be broken. That's why I say it's kind of an arbitrary statement.
I think that's that you could say that, but like I think having not seen it, it's kind of hard to judge it because it's a Greta Gerwig.
I'm not judging the movie.
No, but like because like you're kind of taking down the merits because it is different.
I am taking on the merits. I'm just saying, just like that, music metrics are exactly different than 10 years ago.
But I don't think you have to take down the merit of the movie.
I'm not talking about the movie at all. I'm saying
no, but I'm
not trying to take down the Dark Knight's merits.
Yeah,
no. That's not in.
No, but I think. Yeah, it can make sense why I was able to overcome it because there was a greater amount of connections and like, marketing and things like that. And I don't think that lessens the movie, nor does it lessen Dark Knight.
That's all I'm saying.
I do think it's more of a at the time thing. I don't remember what came out at Dark Knight, but I do remember what came out with Star Wars when they did all the Pepsi cans and stuff like that, and that was way back when. So I'm imagining Dark Knight probably did something that we just don't remember.
No, they definitely did, but were all females dressing up as pink, where they're making Nike dunks to look like Barbie, where they doing...
No.
Okay,
no,
that's all I'm
no,
saying.
Yeah.
That's
well, it's like... Well,
that's
look
like
at
how rap is now.
That's why I said, when you can't look at... Even basketball, we can't look at Kareem to LeBron. It's different. The landscape is different. Just because LeBron passed him in points almost has no relevance.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying
the fact that they made more money than Dark Knight holds no relevance to me because only that point.
Well, like I will say, it holds relevance until a monetary factor, but it doesn't hold relevance into what makes a good movie factor. Just like how you can hold relevance until a goal scoring, a point scoring, but that doesn't mean you're better than Kareem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just saying like Dark Knight was of all movies it's made in the history of the studio, it's made more money than any of their other films. And this is overtaking that. I think there's not many billion-dollar films
franchise
anymore.
No.
That's
like I think that's
Avatar,
yeah, that's
like
a fact.
Star Wars. I don't even know if that made $1 billion, maybe $1 billion
probably
worldwide,
did.
probably, but I don't think all three.
Maybe
made,
not the new
not
ones, but I would
just
imagine
the lineage has to.
Yeah. I
But,
imagine
like,
the old ones.
I would
though.
assume the lineage of Fast and Furious has had to.
Yeah, I think
Over
they
10
did.
movies,
I don't,
bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like all of them. Yeah,
Together.
I think though,
100 million each. I mean, I would imagine
diminishing returns though. Like
It is diminishing.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I think like the next Barbie movie, because they're gonna make it. I don't know if Greta Gerwig will be at the helm. It won't make as much.
It
because
can't make as much.
It can't. Because it's
it'd
like
be pointless.
Like you said,
it's
like
done.
All of the Batman movies made less and less. I think
The second one.
Did it was big? Oh, because
Dark Knight was the second one.
But that's the Heath Ledger one, right?
First one was Batman Begins.
Batman Begins,
Oh.
which was
And then
that was the
which was
intro
good.
that got everybody
everyone hyped.
into it.
Yeah,
because
okay,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
it's such a
Got
good
interested
story.
in. Yeah,
They're going on
yeah.
the back lineage.
Yeah, like
of
what's
Bruce
going on?
Wayne.
It's a different
Second
kind of
one was
Batman.
hyped because they had,
Heath Ledger.
and that's what
Yeah.
propelled
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Especially because what happened.
it was made as a
100%.
trilogy too.
And because of Heath Ledger, because you already like this like Batman, there's different Batman, and like
Just
people,
the name was a
and
long
people
name
who
anyway.
don't get the hype, but because Christopher Nolan was running it, and because the way he shoots things with like no
or
special
even just I
effects.
could have maybe like Christian Bale at a time, or even maybe I
Yeah.
like The Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
there was
and
a lot
also
of different.
and
Well, it was-
Two-Face, the dude who played Two-Face. Like,
there was a lot of different pieces to.
do you ever
pull
see the
people
movie
in.
Thank You for Smoking?
He is in it, huh?
I like
yeah,
that.
he's in it.
Aaron
Such a good Aaron.
something.
Yeah. But like, there was characters in there that we were like, oh, there's some investment in there, definitely. I think with the Barbie thing,
Same thing though, but it's just
characters,
new in the
investment.
sense of-
Yeah.
They've been around.
Batman was new. That was the first serious interpretation of Batman. Whereas now you could go back to comical, but there's not going to be a new Batman anymore.
They kind of already did.
Unless they do,
they
like-
did it every extreme. You had
Yeah.
the comic extreme with Tim Burton. You had the
dark and stoic
dark
one.
and then you had the
you have the
comic
emo
book
one.
version with George Clooney. I
Yeah.
guess you could
Your
say,
favorite.
or just
Yeah.
very loose one.
And you have the most recent emo version
With
with
Robert
Robert
Pattinson.
Pattinson.
And it's like, that's just
You're
kind of
getting
like
them.
that's more extension. Like unless they do like
Batman
across the Spider Verse type of animated
Yeah.
one.
What they do,
Yeah.
what they
Batman
need
Beyond.
to do is
That's like the
Batman
Begins.
Beyond.
That's the
Batman
only
Beyond, yeah,
that's
Batman
the
Beyond.
only interpretation left of it.
to where it's like a new story
Yeah,
in
something
the
new,
realm.
different, yeah.
And so that's gonna be like like
Speaking of men and new stories in the realm, Burning Man is this week.
Is
the
it
man
this week?
burns.
So yeah, it starts tomorrow, Monday.
How long is it?
7 days, Monday to Monday.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I mean, Monday to Sunday, you leave on Monday. You can technically get there today. Some people get there way earlier and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a week of Burning Man.
I would, as
Would you go?
today, no. I would have gone like 5-10 years ago.
If I had a free ticket for you, would you go?
It's not so much the ticket cost, isn't it? All the other prep that
If I had everything for you and all you need to do is bring a bike, that was it. Because you have to have a bike. But like if I said food, water, and shelter covered, and I got a ticket for you, would you go?
if no financial cost, I would go.
Yeah.
But it's like I let me defer to you as the only one with Burning Man experience about like what is your opinion on it now?
Now? So I was talking about this with a friend last night, and I think it's really weird because there's laws or rules to Burning Man, and the whole point of it is like before you go, you should kind of know those things. Like, you know, there's the whole like leave no trace. There's the non-commodification, which is a big one I want to focus on because the idea is
Barter?
Yeah, the idea is that you're not making money there. You're not selling things there. No one's buying and selling there. And on that same token, you don't wear like you wouldn't be walking around with Nikes and like a shirt that says Adidas and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're not wearing like logos and brands and things like that because you're not trying to sell items. I mean, the whole idea of Burning Man, you know, it's like they're burning the man, the whole thing down. What weirds me out is the first year I went, there was absolutely no cell service. So basically from Monday to Monday, I couldn't talk to anybody outside of Burning Man. You could talk to people there. You might get a signal in Deep Playa, maybe, but other than that, you're not talking to anybody.
That was like the thing people expected. Is like it's
you
like
expect
a social media detox.
Totally.
Even texting and stuff.
Yeah, no phone and texting. Like you're just there, and that's the community and the civilization. You're there, and you're gonna make shit work. The second year is when they had a tower, so I had cell signal.
Did you have walkie-talkies before? Did people have walkie-talkies?
Yeah, we did. We had
that
walkie-talkies.
Sounds kind of fun.
Yeah. That was the first time I went. We all had walkie-talkies. The second one, there was a cell signal. It wasn't good, and it was like the very first like one tower cell signal. There's no Wi-Fi still, right? But now there's Wi-Fi and cell signals there, and basically people can post the whole week while they're there, constant updates, which is commodifying your experience, you know, from a social media standpoint. And then the other side of it is like, this is not like I'm like saying like you're an idiot or you're bad for doing this, but like photographers and models, specifically OnlyFans people that go there and they make content there, that's going against the whole idea of commodification. You're commodifying the whole experience. I think that's a small community that's doing that, but I think the fact that whole thing is there, it's a different world. It's so there,
visible
and
too.
It's not the same. But I'd still go because you have 100,000 people there. So even
Doesn't
if
everything start like that though?
Yeah, and even if 30% of the people are doing that, and there's 30,000 of that 100,000 people there, 70,000 aren't doing it, and ultimately you can choose to look the other way, you know. So like and my experience was those people generally when I went were called out. There was generally like the people that were like the older burners, the ones that were around. They're like they would literally just say, "What are you doing? Like, why are you like you know, if you were like if trash anything like that, if your outfit was kind of like leaving like a trace of any sort."
Question:
Mm-hmm.
Could say an old
timer
from let's say a little bit older than us, and they were a big raver in the 90s.
Yeah.
Could they make that same correlation to current EDM festivals and shows?
What do you mean?
Sponsored, everything. Corporatization, I guess.
Yeah.
So my question is,
I mean, but I don't.
What lasts forever at core?
I mean, so yeah. Nothing, I guess.
I was expecting that, but I was like,
yeah.
So for anything to grow and get bigger, and for more people to
the thing is,
go,
it's not.
That wasn't the goal.
It's
right?
not growing.
It never is the goal to change.
But it's not growing. they only have a certain set amount of tickets. They've sold out every single year and gone to capacity every single year for at least the past. I mean, the very first year I was there, I think there was 100,000. I don't think they ever go over that. So it's not like they're like selling more. And Burning Man as a nonprofit, like they have regulations and rules upon themselves that only allow them to use that space. So the more people that don't follow the rules, the more people that trash the place, if so, and that's like the easy one to go to, it can actually threaten their ability to even putting it on. Because at the end of it all, they basically do a moop, a cleanup, and they show all the areas and like all the trash, and they have to pick up every single piece off the playa. Basically, they comb the whole damn thing, and anything that's left, it puts the possibility of like having their
just the existence
the festival,
of the festival
to be revoked. Yeah. And I mean, like, there's certain things they don't call the festival. And there's no lineups and things like that. And I think for a lot of people that go there, like, I'm going to Burning Man, that kind of thing. Like, I think there's people that do it and they know that they're going to an experience, an event, a large scale community that's growing, that is basically a living, breathing art piece. And then there's people that go to party. And I think the people that go to party aren't the ones that are like caring about the rules and stuff like that. I think they go because of the growth of it. Can you stop that? No, you can't. The ideal hope is, though, that there's enough people that push and want to cultivate those laws or those ways of being there. So like I think it's changed a lot, but I think like somewhat it's still the same. Just like the parts that have changed,
yes, but changed for the worse or the better. I just think it's changed.
I think it's just changed. Yeah, I can't say it's for the
worse or better.
But I do say like social media input on it, specifically for like the look. I think that makes it, the appearance of it to the outside world, feel different. I think a lot of people that say, "Oh, I wouldn't go to it anymore," is because like on that level, it doesn't look fun. Like it might not look like exciting to be like, because like it's just like people like doing their thing and stuff like that. I'm just like,
I would just, one factor that would deter me is I'd see so many people, so many white people with locks there.
Well, the reason that people do braids though is because the alkaline dust, that it basically, if you put your hair in braids, you don't gotta worry about cleaning it and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, cultural appropriation or not, but I will say I know the reason that people do braids there is for that reason. So
I have a dumb question.
It's probably not dumb.
What's wrong with American culture that so many people want to run away from it?
Wait, you got me lost.
Are you talking about escapism?
Mm-hmm.
Of what?
American culture.
What's American culture?
I don't know, but I know it's not being a
I think you mean like I think it's because a lot of people do have a certain lifestyle, and then Burning Man is kind of the antithesis to that. Like a lot of people in tech are very avid burners for a long time.
Yeah.
And they are old burners.
I think it's time for them to feel like, so tech people, all of the tech people I've ever worked with, I love y'all, kinda, but like I'm weird, and they make me sometimes be like, dang, like y'all need to like get outside and talk to people. Like you're very, very like what does your communication look like with your friends and stuff like that? So I think sometimes like that's their out. Like there is a, like I can go be anyone. There is, every time I've went, you see these older dudes that like, that their day job is very suit and tie, and then they're there and they
losing
can be
their shit.
Well, but they losing their shit, but then like they can also be like,
or one could say free.
Like they're like, I'm a unicorn, I'm a pony, I'm dressing in sparkles and stuff like that. And like it's sad because it's like, damn, dude, like that's actually like you. I'm not necessarily saying you want to dress in sparkles, but what you want to do is just be able to feel comfortable enough just to like have fun, less, more or less. And you don't feel comfortable enough in your daily life to have fun, so you have to go out to Burning Man to have fun. And then that's where the whole vibe is like, I'm gonna do like acid, and I'm gonna go, and like, you get like the creepers that are like creeping on like, you know, younger women, trying to be like bring them into their camp kind of thing, and like, you know, basically be predatorish. And like, I think a lot of that's from the dudes, and maybe women too, but in those like social spheres of tech that are just so robotic that they don't let themselves live, and then it comes off really weird.
I do like that aspect of like you can be whoever you want,
Yeah.
and people feel free there. I think too at the same time it's like it's such a incredibly high barrier to entry there. Like you can just go there with just a ticket.
Yeah.
But that's very.
You're talking about like everything else that you need to do.
There's.
to-
I mean,
it's a bit unrealistic.
so I was telling a friend this. I was like, you can.
Or are you talking about like mind state you got to be in to get over there?
No. Just like the physical
The stuff.
amenities.
Oh, you're talking about actually just
So-
buying stuff.
So I
to
was
get in
saying
there.
this to a friend the other day because he said the same thing to me. And I said, if you found a camp that you wanted to go with, and that camp said, yes, you can, you know, we want you to be part of us, all you need is your bike and a ticket and probably water. Most likely that camp would provide food. You might have to pay a camp due. That camp due might not be money. It might be that you're working the mess hall one day or cleanup one day or whatever that day. But it is easier to do than I think what people make it out to be.
What's the purpose of the festival?
Ooh, like
self-expression.
I think initially it was like to like a way to like self-express yourself outside of the man, and like the whole thing was like you're burning the man, is like you're kind of like freeing yourself from them, and there is definitely like I mean that was the reason why I think it used to be so like
Isn't that-
nonconformist to
I'm conflicted.
How so?
pray tell.
Because
Trey, tell.
isn't that a dangerous thought? To only free yourself once a year?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I think
completely.
so, too.
That's very, very dangerous. 100%. I think you would find the majority. So all the people I ever went with that were, I would say people would call them burners. You know, they definitely didn't do it once a year.
Well, like you said, burners about 365.
Yeah. So I would say, like, for the most part, those, like, the people I went with from, like, the Aussie, like.
But there is no
Dirt
denying of how
stompers and
much
stuff.
more commercialized it's been.
No.
And let's just say since Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah. Wait, was it on Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes, they went to Burning Man.
That's hilarious.
Hal helped
Well,
burn the
I
man.
would
I never watched
I would
Malcolm
say
in the Middle.
they were
They went to Burning Man. Hal lost all his shit. He burnt the man. He freed himself, and they left after.
I'd
That's
say
hilarious.
they were ahead of their time.
That was very ahead of time. It is dangerous if you only find your freedom there. I think that's also where the predatory side comes of certain people. I also think that's when the people you see out there that want to free themselves and lose their shit because it's like
That's why I
you're
don't
not
wanna go.
in the good mindset.
I feel
actually,
like a lot,
That's-
and I don't know, but I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people are just manipulating the system to do what they want for a week or so.
maybe I never ran into that very much.
That is
though.
an individual perspective
I mean,
or something, I would say,
like
right?
I can't say the difference of a decade because I haven't gone since 2014.
I
So
would say that is
so
pricey.
so that's a pretty
Gotta
large.
be
So that's a pretty large span.
They have an airport now.
Yeah.
Let's just
No,
take-
they've had an airport and post office.
But let's just take
That's not
Coachella.
new. Yeah, that's not new.
Jay-Z, 50 feet away
Yeah.
versus
Well, I like to think so,
back of the back.
but I still though would say like Coachella has always been a LA everybody like the people of people, like the somebody of the somebody, like it's all about a look. Coachella's always generally like, at least for as long as I've gone, even with the Jay-Z one.
Not as much as now, though,
But-
because
but-
now it's
well,
like
social
the
media
Coachella
was a big thing.
headdress type thing.
Yeah, but the
Girls
added
have to look a certain way.
Totally.
Dudes have to look a certain way.
Yeah,
If you're
I
a
think
bro,
the-
you
I
gotta
think
be a
the
tank
du-
top with the shorts and sunglasses.
I think the dude thing's changed the most, definitely.
It has.
Now, I think with the Burning Man thing, I think a lot of the people that find themselves in like the spiritual wellness, breathwork, meditation, coaching community almost feel like they have to go to it as like a rite of passage. Now, I'm putting words into people's mouths, but I just see posts and see how things work.
No, I feel like
and-
you're right, because I feel like that's how basic 18, 19-year-old females act about Coachella.
there's like a rite of passage
It's,
thing, yeah.
If I haven't gone,
You have to go.
I have
you
to
have
go.
to go at least one time.
Yeah, at least one time. And so I do feel like that there's a piece of that. at the same time, they also generally do speak about the very things that are Burning Man. I would love to talk to somebody that's been going to like the first group I went with. They've been like longtime burners. It would be really fun to talk to them because I would imagine that they would say like, "I hate
this and that, but I love this still, and I love this that."
Yeah,
of course.
Because social media, I mean, the crazy thing about like Burning Man is like you're also not like you're only taking photos of yourself, but like you got like naked ass people, like there's like the shirt cocks and like stuff, like you got like people like
It's my nickname in high school.
like it's not like you should be taking photos of like people around you, so you are doing your little photo shoots and things like that, and it's like, oh my god, this blissful moment and stuff like that. But I think it is grandiose in terms of like making a like a look at me spectacle.
Self-centering spectacle.
Yeah, I mean I think the first time I took like 4 photos, and the second time I took like 10 or so. I'm not saying I'm like super special and that's something you should do, but like nobody was asking for Burning Man photos on social media then, and like if you posted on it, it was like the when you came home because you couldn't post them at the like during the burn.
I was curious to say like because you were saying something about photographers and like content creators going there. Would it be something different like if you wanted to go there and document it somewhat as a like a journalist, like
a Huell Hauser,
and you ask people Huell Hauser, shout out Huell. California Gold. Shout out California Gold.
He may have went to that low key.
If you did that, like, and you ask people, you ask for consent for photos, like, that's not frowned upon. That's like,
no,
because that's like being communicative with your intent, and you're like not trying to portray.
Our homie Neil did that. When Neil went to Burning Man, he took he basically photographed his experience as a as a photographer, lens from his lens, but also like he photographed Burning Man. I think that's completely different. Now, is he doing it for his content? Was there content he created? Yes, there was. But I also know how much of the content he had, and did he use it? No. Like, I think if you're going there as a photojournalist of sorts, and it's to explain the experience.
It's like being a wartime photographer. You can't be a wartime photographer and not take pictures of war.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's really like part of the whole Burning Man thing is to have outfits and to have these like really illustrious, like you know, kind of really fun and whimsical like decor on your body. And so like, there's nothing wrong with that. At the same time, like if you are taking photos of that and you're doing photo shoots of that, and then like the reason why you're doing this because it's like I'm going to post this for content, I think there is a weird piece of that because you're like, well, now you've commodified the experience.
Burning Man is just a cool Renaissance fair.
Yeah. Yeah,
it wasn't cool for that long.
But honestly,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but
imagine the Renaissance Fair got cool. How much weird stuff we'd be seeing.
I actually kind of want to go to.
I would go to one, but I don't know if I would do the dress up scenario. I mean, you have to.
I mean, I'd be down because like you
dress up as.
Like, I go as an elf.
I'd like.
I do the ears too, man.
I do some Robin Hood type shit.
I'd be so down for it. Get another elf, you know, female.
Be a elf in dunks, Trey.
My naivety, I just don't get it.
You don't like you never were like
don't get.
Well, you never played. You never played fucking
cool,
Warcraft
sure.
or nothing.
You never like went to.
Dope,
you never wanted to be like
a.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, I did for like I got to level 12 and quit.
I used to want to. I mean, like I wanted to be like an elf with the fucking.
Do you want to be a dragon?
Bow and arrow. And
I wanted to be like Frodo too until the end of the movie.
You just wanted to hang out with Samwise Gamgee, didn't you?
He was cool dude. And Gandalf smoked some weed.
Potatoes.
Smoke that freaking that Gandalf.
Did you have a playa name?
Sparkles.
Oh, I think I remember. Do you remember Neil's playa name? Shout out Neil. What's your playa name?
No, I don't. I don't remember.
Message the pod. What's your playa name?
Yeah. Neil, tell us your playa name.
You can't determine it either, right? You have to be given it.
I mean, you could come up. You could literally show up if somebody said like, "What's your playa name?" And you could just make your own up and say it. No one's going to do anything. I just was like, I don't have one, and I think it was like something with. I think I had like some type of sparkly thing happening, and somebody's like,
Your
sparkles.
aura was going off.
Yeah, my aura was sparkles.
Mr.
But I would go, and I would love to go with homies. But the caveat scenario would be like somebody has an RV and they own the RV.
Yeah, because like you can't rent those things.
Yeah,
really.
like
It's a
that.
big caveat.
It's an enormous caveat. But if you out there next year, you want
Because
to
that
go,
gives you shower and shitter.
exactly.
And,
And also, and when
refuge
you're
from the
done, because like there's the days
Solitude.
yeah, there's the days where you're like, I'm just done. Like I don't want to be out there, you know.
Give me a fold out couch. That's all I need.
100%. Yeah, you know, just that and your ketamine. I mean,
Dramamine.
Would you go to Tomorrowland, the Europe one? Like
Yeah, in Belgium.
Yeah,
that
that's
shit
what
looks
it was.
wild.
I want to go to a rave.
I would
still.
love that.
A proper rave.
You've been to raves.
Yeah, no,
okay.
but like now they're festivals. They're
Yeah,
But that's the
you're
same
right.
thing. There's no like rave.
no, there's raves, but like there's warehouse raves and shit. Like there's still raves, but not like
Warehouse raves take me way too far back.
I've never been to a warehouse rave.
I
been
get-
to like.
I get itchy.
That's like definite. Just
The
walls
bugs are in my
dripping.
skin.
Yeah, man. I've been to a few out
Well,
here.
the walls are literally dripping because of all
Yeah, all the
fucking
condensation. Yeah, exactly. Like
Oof.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I went to hard. I went to like hard Halloween, and it was happening.
Where was it
One of the
at?
things.
So
It was
wait.
in San Bernardino.
at the Knott Center.
Yeah.
Do you want? It's not a rave, but you want to go see R.L. Graham play?
I don't really. I'm not too familiar with RL.
Either of you guys want to fight over a blood ticket?
Oh, I actually have two. To the they have another show on Tuesday, the 7th or something. So if you have one,
I have two for Friday.
oh, like an extra one.
I have one and then an extra.
Who'd you get from
Tay?
Tay?
Oh, you got it.
Oh, you got them?
I ain't gonna sleep on it. I wanted to go. I was
Yeah.
just sleeping on the tickets.
What date is it? Sorry, people.
The
on
8th, two Fridays,
September? Like next week?
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Next Friday's the 1st.
I have tickets for Tuesday, so if you want to go, if you don't want to go to that one, if you want to go, so like, because if you go to that one show, I was going to ask you about that also, like about Bled. I also have tickets. I did not realize it was on a fucking Tuesday. I have 3 tickets to Head Automatic.
Head
It's a Tuesday. I'm still down.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still down.
I'm still down.
You got
Yeah,
tickets. That's
yeah.
would be
I'm still
first.
down.
You
Yeah.
wanna pop, you wanna
Shoot, you wanna shoot, you wanna shoot.
Speaking of shoot,
Shoot
I have
everything you
no segue with
can
shoot, but I'm
do.
going to use it. Subway
Shoot your
sold
shot.
for shooting $9.55 billion.
And you said it was a private entity, right?
It was a family-owned business. It was franchised, but it's family-owned. I can't remember who they sold to, but
Monsanto, someone big.
it's a lot. Let me.
Pull it
While
up. Yeah,
you
it's got to
do,
be somebody
while
big.
you do that, I just want to say
'Cause
one
who's
thing.
got that much cash to just to buy an investment?
Yeah, while you bring it up, I want to say one more thing about Burning Man and also about festivals and stuff. I think generally it is the old community that looks down upon
Gatekeep.
the chain. Yeah, so like there's a piece of it that I'm just like
Because how you going to blame a 17-year-old that's 17 this year going
that wants to
Burning
be
Man for
so
their first
excited.
time
Yeah, about
versus somebody who's 45 who went 20 years ago for their first time.
totally completely different thing, completely different scenario. It's a whole different world.
Which is why I was kind of saying the thing
Same
about
thing
Barbie,
about Barbie
and Dark Knight.
Yeah. Because
Okay,
like
they're-
it's the same thing with Coachella,
It is.
and it's the same thing with like raves and festivals.
not diminishing what Barbie
Not-
did,
yeah.
but let's not diminish
Yeah.
what Dark Knight did.
Because like also I just sense like I want to also be like my Burning Man isn't touchable. Like your
That's how everyone
like,
feels.
Everyone wants to be
Everyone's-
like, you know,
Everyone.
It's a very like I
Everyone
guess
feels that.
that's a ego-y type of thing. But like yeah, you want to be like
Everyone's is untouchable.
you can't like your kid's Burning Man. Man, it's not like ours.
Well, just imagine if we're lucky enough to have kids and Coachella's still going and they go in 20 years. What would we say about it?
It's
That's
the
all-
laser shows are going to be crazy.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. You know how like we'd be like, oh, why would
Their
you even do that?
VR
They'd be like,
set.
oh my goodness.
I mean, I think if we all went
Yeah.
today, I definitely am
It'd be
more.
fun.
I would have a fucking hell of a time.
Yeah, it'd be different.
I want.
Very
I'm
different.
not going to camp there in
No.
the car camping. I need these old bones need some like actual
Need
beds,
nice beds
and a shower.
and some real kitchen.
And I'd want to do like a VIP tickets. It's expensive.
yeah.
The VIP
At least
thing
you
is
get some booze.
Yeah, and also stay in the shade in a nice.
I won't be withering in the sun.
Away from people.
Yeah. All the kids.
I would have a great
Because
time.
it is a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah, it's still 30,000 people or something, right? Something like that. Maybe.
Way more than that.
Way more than that.
Like 200,000.
No, like each day. It's like
each
it's
day
like,
I think it's like 100.
I don't think it's 100. I think it's like 40, 50,000.
At Coachella?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought it was
But it's like over
100.
the. It's because people cycle out, so I think it is like
You're right, okay.
together. It's like 100,000,
It's 120 for the weekend, right?
something like that.
Yeah, that's
So
probably
let's just say 40,000.
But like, yeah, I'd have a great time.
Shit ton of
I think
people.
you have to try to not have a good time.
I think that's at a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's why with the Burning Man thing, I'm like, if you didn't have to worry about your structure,
Of course you'd
your
have a good
food,
time,
You'd
yeah.
have a good time.
Yeah.
Have a good
I
time.
just don't know if I'd want to be there for a whole week.
I couldn't be there for a week. Like I couldn't even be at Coachella for that long.
I mean, first time I did Monday to Monday. Second time I did Wednesday to Monday. Wednesday to Monday was chill.
I could do like a weekend. I could do Saturday, Sunday.
I would not drive
I didn't say I was
30
driving.
fucking. You're gonna fly in and jump out the
Helicopter,
plane.
yeah, helipad.
Just
in
gonna
there.
fucking Call of Duty.
Well, that's how the
resurface.
real people do it. The pros.
The real people.
These are the real burners,
Well,
guys.
I'm saying the real monetarily established.
Yeah,
burners.
they fly in on the airport.
They already have the RV
Yeah.
chilled, waiting for
They
them.
probably also sold Subway for $9 billion.
Rourke Capital bought them, and they own Jimmy John's, Cheesecake Factory, Arby's, Jamba Juice.
That's probably like a trust or
They
something.
manage
huh? Or like
$37 billion in assets. It's a lot. It's a lot of money.
Jesus.
It's lots of billies.
That's crazy because that's like a mafia of
Well, that's
like.
what I'm like. Again,
I still love
how
Cheesecake
much money
Factory.
can you change when only a couple people are owning shit, and they're just like, well, I could afford to
You
take a
can't.
loss here and then
Yeah.
just profit over here still because I own both of them.
Yeah.
We'll just,
You just buy up like the
you know what
natural
I mean?
competitors. It's like
it's sad.
I'm getting business no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird when you think about that, but that's
I haven't been to like a Subway in probably like 5 years, if not more.
they're far and few. I feel like they're like Arby's.
I think there's still a lot of them.
There's a
There's
lot.
built in. There's a lot of franchisees, like in like Toyota dealerships or like gas stations or whatever. There's a
Whatever
lot.
happened to Taco Bell, KFCs? Those are gone.
Oh my gosh,
Those are
yeah.
dying breed, but I
Well,
think there's
what-
still a
those are
few.
gone.
That was like the Carl's Jr. Green Burrito.
Oh, those are. I feel like that's still a thing, but it's not a thing. Like they still
Probably
That's a
in the
rancho
suburbs,
thing.
Midwest.
they still
probably.
have green burrito
Yeah.
on the menu, but it's like
Yeah.
two things.
Yeah, they have like
People are like, what the hell's a green burrito? What? No, there's no commercials on TV for a green burrito.
That used to be a thing, dude.
Yeah.
I know that there's a
Go to CJ's, get
KFC, Pizza Hut, or something in Westchester, I believe. Like there's
Oh yeah, because it was KFC
and maybe
Pizza
a Taco
Hut,
Bell. I
Taco
think it
Bell.
might be all of those. I don't know.
Yeah.
All of the above.
I like that. I like that.
And
Slow
options.
change.
And options.
And then they're normally attached to gas stations.
That's the difference between
Getting
fast
gas
food.
either way.
Yeah. Difference between fast food here and in the UK. I told my boss went to Paris, and I was like, make sure you get McDonald's. And she's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah.
Be KFC dog.
I was like, just like,
It's better.
I was like, try the McDonald's with it, like at late night when you got to. She was like, you're right, it was better. I'm like, I know, it's
just better.
It just is.
Tastes a little different, but it's a little better.
Yeah,
We
I'm
have
not saying
them.
it's good, but it's better.
It's
Shades
better.
of gray. Shades of gray.
Yeah, definitely shades of gray.
All right. What else?
50 Shades
what
of
else? What else we got going on?
Did you? So
I want to hear your Rick Rubin take before we get out of here.
my Rick Rubin take.
Josh's Rick Rubin take.
What's Josh's Rick Rubin take?
It says the creative act of Rick
Oh, no, it's a
Rubin.
book.
Oh yeah, I was just saving.
That's
that
mine.
at the end. That's
He had a
not mine.
book.
Yeah, he had.
It's
a
a
book.
very popular book. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
that have read that thing.
I thought we were talking about how
Really
he
good.
just claims he knows nothing about music yet. He's Rick Rubin. I like that lie. It's a fun one.
Yeah, no, I like that.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't play any instruments,
Who? Okay.
so
He's
I-
got an ear.
So I think that's what he's saying, is that he's not an instrumentalist. He's not a musician.
He knows what sounds
But
good.
that's not what he says.
I think it's what he
He
says.
says he knows nothing about music. I can't.
But that's how you I guess how you like. He doesn't know anything about the act of
I think he's talking about it from the sense of like he doesn't like he's not
musical himself.
or like he doesn't have a classic musical education. There's no musical theory, anything like
Yet
that.
he's only made classical work in the music industry. So he
Classical
You
work.
mean classics?
You mean
has
classics?
6, yes.
Yeah, but I think that's his whole jam is that like he didn't.
I know. I like the lie. It's still a lie. It's a lie.
So you think that he's
it's a
like,
bold-faced lie.
you think that he's trained in like music theory?
At this point, you don't have to be trained in music theory, but he definitely knows how to work the Neve board. He's trained on that.
But he's not trained in musical
But that's
theory,
not.
though.
But I think what he's saying is,
I understand.
I think what
the
he's
hot
saying is
take
that's
he's
not
saying,
music, though.
but that's not true because it is music.
I mean, I guess so.
And yeah, it's
That's
both
kinda
true
li-
and
that's kinda
not
like,
true. I wouldn't necessarily it's false, but
It's
it's
kind of
not-
like a videographer like doing the colors on, like if somebody's like editing like a movie and doing like special effects or colors. Like he's not a cameraman. He's not like a
you don't have any specific training, but you're a video editor. You don't have any. You don't know anything about.
I would
video
also
editing,
not
right?
say I know nothing about videography at this point, though.
But I don't think he says he doesn't know anything about
He
music.
does. That's what his whole thing is. He calls himself the brilliant idiot because he says, I know nothing about music. That's his whole like guru thing, which is why I think it's funny, but it's a crock of shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I take it in the same way.
I get it. You take it the way he's wanting it to be received.
I mean, I'm just taking it in the way that of his words. It's like I think, when I hear him say I don't know anything about music, I think he's talking about like the actual like creation and cultivation of a song in terms of like structure and scale and scoring.
But he does know about music in the sense of sonics, which is music, right? That's his whole thing is just sonically manipulating music, right?
Yeah, I mean so the Creative Act is a book that he wrote, and it's comprised of many different chapters, and like they're only like a page or like two or three, 1 to 3 pages, and they all have different like themes like patience or happiness or focus or anything like that, and it's all meant to help with the creative juices, so like to kind of like bring you into creativity. So when I think from reading that book and how he presents those ideas, and then when he talks about like not knowing music, I'm not saying that you'll or anybody has to agree with this, but I think maybe in his mind what he said, like what he might truly believe too, is like when he enters a new musical project, he's just doing what flows through him on a greater godly scale. Like he's basically a conduit, and whatever's coming through is the creative entity. And so he doesn't know anything about music. He's just basically this
What feels good.
He's just like this output emanating the production or emanating the creativity.
No, I get it. It's just I feel like that's a manipulation and lie.
Well,
But
I do.
that's cool.
Yeah, but that's what I don't
Yeah, no,
think.
I totally get
but
it.
I don't think
I totally
he
get
thinks
it.
I don't think he.
I just don't think he could believe he knows nothing about music after he's had a 40-year career in the music industry.
Well,
Yeah.
I believe also at the same time he's almost like he's
playing a character.
iconoclastic figure in the music industry, where he is like so known and so well regarded. He's very much put on a pedestal. And I think like when you're
Facts.
viewed by so many people,
Very
so many
much.
notable other musicians and other figures,
Yeah.
you
You
kind of
think
start
he's
to
trying
believe
to
it.
diminish his light to propel other creativity?
I think he like is kind of like humble in a certain way.
I
in
think
that,
he is very humble.
but then he's also like, I think if everybody is elevating him so much, you like whether you like it or not, I think some of that kind of seeps into your subconscious.
Psyche,
like
yeah.
he kind of is like, oh, maybe I'm just like you said, I'm just a conduit. Like I'm just doing stuff that feels good or sounds good. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Who's to say? But he's like, he knows about music. That's no doubt.
That's inherent.
But like
that's all I'm stuck up on.
I think,
you obviously
yeah.
know about
yeah.
music.
I think you can know about music, but I think Josh makes a good point because how this reads is his whole spiel is like get over the idea that like there is only a certain type of person that is creative,
Yeah, his whole thing's like get over yourself.
more or less. It's
Just
his whole
create,
thing.
just do,
Just,
be.
yeah. It's so like it's kind of like I think he also is a practicing.
Something.
I think
definitely.
Hindu is. I think
Buddhist?
He definitely meditates.
No, I don't
and
think he's a
stuff.
Buddhist. I think
He
he's
meditates
Hindu.
though, and he's all about the no shoes, touch the earth.
Yeah,
type
I
thing.
think he's very Hindu with his. Shangri-La
Yeah,
is
that's
his,
the name of his-
the whole thing.
Studio, right?
Yeah. That's his whole like landscape.
Yeah,
that whole like
Shangri-La.
and I think a lot of that is what he's very much about source and about like the source energy. And so I think when he says like maybe he's playing a bit of a game with the like I don't know
With the
music,
wording.
but I think if he is, it's the whole point to be like, you person out there who thinks that you can't do it,
maybe diminishing his light to keep other creatives creative.
yeah, or to like be like, dude, take that step, like be willing to just like put your your feeling into whatever it is, because that's ultimately what he started. That's how he started.
That book isn't about music or the creation of music, right?
Not at all.
It's like, I think it's more of,
It's about creating.
Yeah, and in like my limited knowledge of like Hindu and Buddhist teachings is like,
What's
you
open?
ultimately you know nothing, right? Kind of, and you're seeking truth. That's just generalizing greatly, but
I wouldn't say that. I would say the difference is really between the two, that like Hindu has gods.
Oh, multiple.
And there's like a great Brahma is like the greater, the omnipotent god or energy, and then Buddhism has no gods. There is no omnipotent source. There is the absence of kind of thing. So like that's kind of.
Do they have like saints or something like that where they have divine things?
I mean, there is, in Buddhism there is like, actually there are gods, but like at
they're
the
not
end,
the.
but they're not the god. Yeah, like you'd be
They
like,
have
oh,
gods, like the sun god.
kind of like
but,
there's a world of like gods, like, but like at the end of the day, like you're not. The gods are still trying to reach enlightenment,
just like Grecian gods.
Kind of, except for Grecian gods were like humanistic in form, and there was like the sense of like connectivity through like human emotions and things.
But they were
like
still
that.
trying to reach.
they were imperfect.
Yeah.
but they were all
reach.
powerful at the
They
same time.
had half power.
Yeah, well, they were also all already on Olympus, like all the.
Okay.
They're already
Except
on this
for
pedestal.
Hercules.
Well, he was a half.
Yeah,
cosmos.
He was the half.
He was a
Yeah.
demigod.
He was the
Yeah.
demigod. Okay.
But I would say though, like I think what you were saying was like the not knowing self kind of thing. I think it's the absolution of self. It's not like necessarily not knowing self. It's like you have your relative form, which is us right here, but the ultimate form, your absolute form, is there is none. Like
It's like a collective. So
which is like the whole
existence.
like
shared.
That's the whole idea of like there's like an emptiness, but it's not empty as in you lack anything. It's emptiness as in like nothing specific makes you, because
You're kind of you're nothing. You're both nothing and everything.
Exactly.
It just sounds
time.
funny to me because it'd be like if Michael Jordan right now says, "I know nothing about the game of basketball."
But Mr. Jordan has quite an ego compared to Mr.
I
Ruben.
believe they have the same ego. They're one of the best in their fields.
I mean, the only thing I would
I
say
feel like it's
isn't
more of
the
an ego
same.
to be like, I know nothing when I know I absolutely know a lot.
I think it'd
about
be
this.
more about. I think I would take more Giannis over Michael, because Giannis
anyone saying I know. Oh, but he's not the great at the time yet.
No, but I'm just saying, like, at least he started from not playing.
Not playing.
Yeah.
But
There's
one
like
of them
a
also
sense
has an affinity for gambling, which has a lot of ego in it. So.
Jordan.
Rick Rubin has to have a vice. I just don't know what it is.
It might
Not
be-
cutting
it
his
might-
He's like,
hair.
I'm gonna find it.
It might be
I'm gonna find it.
meditation.
It
Sometimes
could be,
people
could be.
turn meditation
Well,
to a
obviously
vice.
Pharrell's got a weird vice,
His
Sunglasses.
1 hour baths.
and he's a child of Rick in a sense of production. And
Yeah.
I'm synapsing and I see music as sounds and colors, and they're
Yeah, I think too.
synesthete.
Yeah, I
whatever,
think too. Like after a certain point, like your craft and stuff, and you're like, oh, I think I want to like transcend beyond just music making.
It's
You're
like
still
Kanye
making
West.
music, but you're like,
He wasn't saying he was. I mean, he was saying he was the best when he first started, but he really didn't mean it. Now he really means
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. He really
He
is like,
really
no
means
one
it
can
now.
touch me.
No one can touch me. Before it
Yeah.
was like that braggadocious. Yeah, I'm the best. But now he's like, no, I am proven to be the best.
I appreciate Rick Rubin's position though, because I think it does open up like.
Yeah, he's like the Matt McConaughey or Keanu Reeves of music. I get it. It's an easy shtick to like. And
Well, I don't want to say it's like easy shtick, because I don't want to diminish it by calling it a shtick. I just think that like there's a lot of people out there that think like creatives are this like one-off, like
a genius, if you will.
Yeah, and it's like not really. Most successful creatives are just the ones that keep on doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until
And embrace the failure.
yeah,
of,
that's
of
the
whole
the
thing.
general creative.
That's just
and
really it.
And I think what he's trying to say is that I think he's trying
But
to
that's
say.
what because I know we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I know what he wants people to hear, and I know what he's saying. But I think it would be more.
What would you want?
beneficial.
Yeah, what do you want him to say?
I want him to be like, yes, I take this role of I know nothing, and I try to implement that when I'm working. But
That doesn't sound well in a book.
of course, but it's obvious. Yes, I have years and years and years of mastering this craft.
But like, don't you think then like so basically
Nobody wants to hear that.
he could say I started not knowing anything and maybe I know something now, but I was never trained in music artistry. I don't know how
Formally trained.
Yeah, formally trained in that.
Yeah, it's a hot take for sure. His whole thing about it, but I feel like that's how Pharrell, God willing, when he gets there, he'll act like that. You know, there's gonna
Lord
be people,
willing.
When he transcends.
I mean, you know, it's inherent.
Oh,
like,
Lord
yes,
willing. Yeah,
he's
that was
already
nice.
like,
Nice connect.
you know, that's Rick Rubin was not this Rick Rubin when he was producing for the Beastie Boys or Run DMC or
No.
even
Jay.
I was going to
99
say, or
Problems.
even Toxicity people. System
Oh,
of a
System of a Down?
This was not the same Rick Rubin.
No.
Granted, he might have had the same techniques of how he went into working.
He might have been on the same brainwave. I don't.
Well,
Because
I'd
I
say
think
yes,
he's been
loosely, but I don't
yeah.
think.
Well, yeah, he's not the same person as
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
I think
5,
I think
10.
he's been on the transcendental meditation.
He's definitely been on that for the last
vibe
15 years.
for a hot minute.
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
That's
he had
apparent.
his studios.
Because that's his whole
Shangri-La.
thing with the studio.
Well, I could say the
yeah.
same thing with Russell Simmons, right?
I don't know. He's a creeper, but whatever.
As in, how so?
Same thing, right? He changed up to a whole different type of. He spews right personal establishment and getting better up top, right? That's his whole thing now, right? Russell Simmons.
He's kind of messy though.
Yeah,
Isn't he?
I mean, and I have personal encounters
That's-
with
I know,
him because he
I
used to
know.
come to that yoga studio, and
That's what I'm saying. None of us do with Rick, right?
no. But
Speak to
I
him in
just
my
can't
dreams.
see Rick taking like
Why is that?
I don't know. I think I would have heard about Rick Rubin coming to a yoga studio with 22-year-olds and something. I just think that would have come out.
Is Rick Rubin married?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
No one.
I think
knows.
it's like a Mike Dean though, where he's got like a long time.
Rick Rubin and Ram Dass kind of have the same beard going, and I kind of wonder like,
they're homies. They got to be homies, right?
well,
How old is Rick
R.I.P.
Rubin?
Ram
60s?
Dass. Maybe.
60s,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, he's been doing it for definitely
80s.
decades.
Since the 80s.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So, and he was a
In
young cat.
in college around
Yeah.
there, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was like.
He'd never cut his beard. It's the same beard
It's
the whole time.
basically, yeah.
He's just been
Basically.
growing.
Because what they started that out of their dorm, I think.
Really?
Paul's
Him
boutique.
and Russell Simmons started it out of their dorm.
Wait, they worked together?
It's college. I think they met up in college.
Russell
I think.
Simmons and Rick Rubin?
Yeah. They
Damn.
started what was their label they started together? What's Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons' label? What, that's-
Def Jam?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Rick Rubin's.
He had a little part because that's why he was like doing what? LL Cool J, Beastie Boys. Yeah. And then they had a big
Crazy.
falling
Madonna.
out.
Crazy.
Did they do that?
I don't know about Russell Simmons. I know Rick Rubin's working.
No,
with
yeah,
Madonna.
they were thick as thieves back in the day. That's why I asked you if you think about Rick Rubin in a sense. Why don't you think of Russell Simmons?
I
in
love
the
me
same
some
way?
thick thieves.
Because to me, I think of him as one and the same.
I think because I know I have personal experience with Russell Simmons, and I'm not trying to like defame his name or anything like that. It's
or put that on. Rick
You have
Rubin.
observations.
yeah. I just have personal multiple re-encounters
That's
of
different,
him.
yeah.
It's just different.
That's way different.
Yeah.
Are you watching or reading or listening to anything this week? Anything interesting?
Yeah, Earl put out music, but it wasn't good. But no, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm tired of rappers putting out singles with no drums. I'm done with that.
Mm.
I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're gonna do spoken word, change genres to spoken word.
Did you like Doris?
I didn't. It's very weird. Not great.
Mm.
Did you like
Rhyme
Doris?
scheme's cool.
Mm. Mm.
Music was subpar. Not the best. I don't know why he's got the allure that he does, to be honest.
I think it's like
It's that
yeah.
I don't care underground.
fans.
Yeah.
You know, and
Fandom.
like some
But where
people
did
like
it
that
come
shit with
from,
no-
though? Is what I'm saying. Because you don't even have enough projects to back that up.
I think that's the reason.
Maybe.
It's that like
Franklin Ocean.
he got more projects than Earl Sweatshirt.
but still very thin. But like
Way thin.
Earl shows
put
up to shows, though.
He puts stuff out though.
Does show up to show.
I think he's had like his last album was what, like 2 years ago, like album.
Album. I don't know, because I know he'd be putting out weird singles every once and again, just to kind of stay.
He does work a lot with Alk.
Alk, exactly. Because I think the last single he put out before this one was with Alk too.
They're constant collaborators.
Yeah, I think they have a good chemistry. For sure.
I like him because like he does very traditional, like kind of like you could say boom bap shit like Alk, and then he does shit with like Earl. That's very
did
unconventional.
Alchemist do Blue Chips? Action Bronson? Blue Chips too?
I could say I would
do
say
not
he
know.
very likely had a role in it, but I can't say it
Can't say
definitively.
for sure. Yeah, because that's the Alchemist I kind of like. Like,
But he still does that shit
it's
too,
boom
you know.
bappy in a sense.
It's not
Sorta.
like
It's not just.
but he does shit with like Freddie Gibbs.
I mean, I like his Freddie Gibbs
yeah.
stuff, and I like the stuff he does like with the Griselda dudes, like Benny the Butcher, Conway. I just don't. I don't like drumless hip hop.
Fair.
I don't mind it if it's one song on an album.
Yeah.
It's cool. But don't give me a single with no drums and a sample looped over and over again. And you're kind of just rapping, like I said, spoken wording over it.
They're being avant-garde.
That's what it is. I'm over that.
They want to be unique.
It's not unique. Kanye did that like 20 years ago.
Let the man be unique.
It's over, bruh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was cool when they stopped having drums, but it's over, bruh.
Are you familiar with not quite avant-garde, like No Name?
Yes, okay.
Have you heard the new album?
What do you think about her?
Just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
I actually was like only vaguely familiar with the product before, and then like the new album, I listened to it like a few times this week. I was like, I really liked it.
I really like her. She just hates white people too much to get any bigger than she is.
Which like, but she's on
really
the
good.
new one. She throws shade at everyone,
But she
and herself.
really hates white people.
Yeah.
It's like she really.
Well, do you think that's why she had Jay Electronica on there?
Yes, 100%. She's Lauryn Hill, but like 23.
But she kind of is like, she's like acknowledges her messiness.
She's not an Azalea Banks, but she hates white people. I think to her detriment.
That's like what I was kind of saying about like.
Is you got to hate white people like Vince Staples to where they still like you.
Yeah.
And you can
to where you make Sprite commercials.
He doesn't necessarily hate them. He
outwardly says exactly what he thinks.
Yeah, he's like this is, he's like, I'm making money off this. It's crazy.
What it is. He outwardly, exactly.
Yeah.
She just really, she goes on her like, because I follow her on IG. And
you do?
Yeah, she goes in on her dissertations about white people about once a week.
Wow.
And there are slides with extensive paragraphs, which I appreciate. You know what I mean?
She's an artist almost, like kind of, if you want to put that label on it.
No, but her skill and her selection of beats it's
bars
good.
too.
She's good. She's really good.
But like you said, like she's not palatable
she's
for a
not palatable.
large portion of the population. But if you take it musically, yeah, it's superb.
It's bar none almost, dude. But she just can't get any bigger.
But I don't think she's like aiming for it either.
No, I don't think so.
Especially like she's smart.
Yep.
She's putting that energy out there. She knows.
Yeah, she's not like, she could be like a Rhapsody, but she's not gonna. That's her. She's Rhapsody, but more extreme.
Yeah. She's alt-right Rhapsody.
That's what she is. Like, she could be that person where it's bars, consciousness, saying something, but she's just a little
too much. A
I
little
like
too
her.
wrath.
I fuck her there. I'm glad you like her. Yeah, she's dope. She's real dope. Yeah.
She knows like she's implicit in all of the thing, like making money and stuff.
She's not dumb by any means.
Yeah.
She understands her part in the
whole machine,
the whole thing.
Yeah, that's why I like her. Yeah, but she
like you gotta have fucking guts to like shade like Kendrick, Rihanna,
she's like,
fucking Jay-Z.
Nothing to say. It's like she's darker complexion. You know what I mean? But she stands on her shit. I fuck with it.
Yeah, I think you like artists, like even if you don't fuck with their music,
what they stand for. Yeah.
Like, people of a prophet or something like that. But like, you're just standing on your personal, like, your own platform.
Yeah, it's just like you got some kind of backbone to your artistry. Like it stands for something. It's not just a flash in the pan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
which is like why I appreciate her a lot. Yeah, she's dope.
Do you got anything else you listen to?
Yeah, it was J. Cole,
Gucci?
Gucci Man, Mike Will Made It, trash. Like J. Cole is dope. We get it, Jay. Just stop doing features. Just rap alone again. We get it. You did a
More
cool
albums.
run. Yeah, you did a cool run.
More
You did
Focus on the Dreamville stuff.
More
right?
no features.
Go back to no features, J. Cole, because you're just kind of oversaturating yourself on some bullshit at this point.
Yeah, that one was pretty booty.
It was. I mean, but I get it. It was Gucci Man and Michael Made It on paper.
Yeah. How you gonna say no?
I'm sure the check was nice
It's Gucci.
too. You know,
100%.
The check was nice.
Guap.
That
That
goo
was
up
it.
drop.
That was it.
Yeah. You got anything you've been listening to? Because that's what you're reading. You're reading Mr. Ruben's.
Yeah,
work.
Pale J is
You
the
put
new.
it on. It was good.
Yeah. It's just I can't tell you about the dude or anything like that, but it's pretty vibey. I think it came up off of a jungle kind of interconnect, but he's got Eric the Architect on one of the songs, and Eric the Architect's been popping up on all different people's stuff for like.
You've been getting on him.
Oh yeah.
I
you
think
said
he's the
you guys were talking
rapper
about
that
him
like people are
before.
borrowing right now. That he's gonna kind of pop because he's on the Jungle album. He does some stuff with like Saba and Mick Jenkins, so he's kind of in that mix.
There's so many levels to the game.
I know,
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for like Mick Jenkins to pop off.
He
like-
won't because of his style, but he's dope.
Yeah, he's just so.
I think
dope.
he'll get as close as Coda did, because I don't think
Coda's
Coda's
he
not
just
gonna
had some
pop.
bad luck. He's already done.
But he's not though, which
He's
is
not,
weird.
though, but
he
he's-
can't get.
he
I don't
can't-
think that.
can't get that hump
Yeah, I don't
over
think
The
he can get
biggest
over
I
it.
think we've seen to date that was maybe in the same sphere was like a Chance.
Yeah,
Mm.
and like what's
He's like
weird about
That was an
Chance.
interesting trajectory.
The weird about
I
Chance
love
is like
so much.
the
We
first,
all love the acid rap.
Yeah,
Chance
acid
was
rap.
like,
And then
woo!
but no
I-
one liked his third album.
No one.
Coloring
At least
book?
That was I think his second, and that was like a collab with like his little
crew.
Coloring book though.
coloring book.
I liked it. Like I didn't love it
Because that was the one with
the
like
same
Donnie
as-
Trumpet all over it, and
She
then,
was like, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Peter Cottontail produced a lot of it. Yeah,
You know Georgia Smith? Is
Ooh,
that
I
her name?
love
she's
So
dope.
Smith.
She's dope.
She has some like dance tracks and shit. On
Yeah.
there.
She's
Very-
so fun.
she's dope.
Yes.
And then like
Yes.
I think I don't know if
See, that's my type of thing.
however she writes the music or whoever picks the music
I know.
she's gonna write to, they literally like I feel like they are testing all of her waters, because like she's got some songs that are like a little more groovy, then a little more indie,
She's got
very
the-
just a little
jazzy.
more
She's got the range though, because she got that cosign from Drake early on,
yeah.
and that kind of
Yeah.
I
made
Well, because
her-
wasn't Georgia on
she was on something.
she was on Donda.
She was on something. I know for Drake for sure.
Yeah, I think she
And
was
then-
on like a
yeah.
Donda too, and like, I feel like she's got a lot of
She's just a black
Rain.
Lana
I feel
Del
like
Rey.
I think she's like untapped though, because I feel like she was kind of just playing in this one
yeah, that's
range
it.
in the spectrum.
She was,
She's got
for
legs
sure.
though.
Yeah.
She could like
She's
stretch.
100%.
She just I want to see her stretch them out because she's been doing like a lot of like maybe I don't know if it's remixes or collabs or something, but like she's
No,
like,
you're right, because I don't
her
truly
sound
think
is
that like
growing.
her marketability has truly been
Happen.
tapped in off of her. And this is starting to sound bad, but like her sexuality, it's been more talent driven off of her,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and she's beautiful.
yeah. She is.
You know what I mean?
gorgeous.
Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think like she's not new to the game at all.
No.
But like I think she can only go up if like she continues to like kind of broaden her
I think of her
horizons.
like
Not even make
like
her
a Snow Allegra though. Like,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think of Snow Allegra and think of beautiful female artists. I think of dope ass singer.
yeah, fucking
You know,
got pipes for days.
It's not like they're marketed as a sexual thing.
Mm-hmm.
which is
It's great. It's great.
and like I don't think she's aiming to try and
No, you don't. I'm not saying that. I'm just
But,
saying
yeah,
it's
no, like-
nice to be like.
no, but like I really want her to get fucking huge, like because
If
she's.
she leaned in on her sexuality, I think she'd get a lot bigger.
But then I still think also her sound, like I think her sound
her
can
sound,
grow.
yeah, it needs to
like
just
it's a little too like I like it, but I know like
underground UK.
yeah, and jazzy, kind of soulful, and like she could keep that, but like I don't know. I guess depends on who she works with in the near future.
Yeah,
Would you guys see Coda at a show? Would you see?
I
him?
would definitely see.
I would
Coda.
go.
She's playing a
Yeah.
show soon.
You know who she could be
Really?
like,
Maybe like,
but I don't
Novo.
want to go in that direction, like an Adele, because Adele's first album is one of my favorite albums. 19.
19.
Oh, I love 21 though too.
I 19 was my favorite though because it's super jazzy.
Yeah.
And this is like,
yeah, you're right.
I tried to listen to Black Odyssey's new album again.
it's not great, huh? Yeah, I hate when artists
It's such a bummer, dude.
when they get you on a sound and
Yeah,
then like
man.
they can't.
His vocals are like so quiet, like whispery. I'm like, why are you doing
Because
that? Like,
that's gonna be his voice.
yeah. I was like, damn, just be a little bit louder because you got that thing.
That
but
juice.
yeah.
I know.
But yeah. Other than that, I did watch the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, and I would say
it's out already,
dude. Yeah, and I
want
would
to see it.
I would say it's one of the best Star Wars things I've seen.
Like Andor, but leaning more into the Star Warsy thing. Of
Yes, it is like
Is this like a Disney Plus thing.
yeah. It is like Andor, but it's like everything you love in Star Wars, but specifically the camera shots and the soundtrack are phenomenal.
What's this story based off of?
So Ahsoka was the apprentice of Anakin, so Darth Vader.
Okay, so
And so like in this there's
so
a
he's
car
like Luke's cousin.
No,
She's not a Jedi, right?
No, she's a Jedi.
Oh, no,
well,
but, like,
she
she's-
was. But
she's-
she left the
she
Jedi
broke
Order. Yeah,
from
so
that.
she called a gray, like gray Jedi.
Oh, wasn't she the one in that one movie? Or no? What was the one-off Star Wars they had? Or the lady
she was
with
on the Mandalorian.
with the buns. What was that girl's name with Finn?
Ray?
Yeah, who is she?
No, that's like episode. That's like
I know, but like
7, 8, and
Oh,
9.
okay.
Yeah, she was a Jedi. No, so like back before Luke and like the Star Wars that we started with, like when our generation, when you go to that initial story, she was with like Anakin who turns into Darth Vader. She was his apprentice, and like the Clone Wars TV show and the Rebels TV show are all about Ahsoka. And there's a whole other story, and it's a huge like alternate story. But the way they're doing it, you can kind of go into it without knowing anything. They're doing it like very well, mixing in like old school Star Wars, like kind of like emotional feels with this like story.
You
Is
love
George
the
Lucas a part
Rebels
of it?
and
Rebel. I mean, honestly,
that's-
Rebels.
Well, it's like very highly regarded.
Yeah. Clone
Rebels are
Wars.
defectors, right?
Yeah,
Terrorists.
they're terrorists. Clone Wars and Rebels are, I mean, they're cartoons, and so it's always hard to sell someone on a cartoon. But it's 2 of the best, like storylines of like Star Wars you can get. But yeah, it's really good. Highly recommend. First 2 episodes are
Is
great.
George Lucas a part of any of this?
I
Not
think
creatively
I
anymore.
think he must have sat in on these ones because it feels like he had.
I think he has consultant things, but he
Yeah.
doesn't write.
He doesn't write it,
stuff.
yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
like direct.
No,
I think he's pissed because like everybody hated his stuff when he did.
I mean,
Do you look at him any different than like Tamakashi or whatever his name is?
Oh, Murakami.
Murakami?
Yeah.
I don't know, directors, because like naturally it's like they have a vision, and like I see the kind of like narrative thread you're pushing, because like they have the vision, but it's everybody else who's executing, whether it's like the fucking grips to the actors to the DP and like everything. I don't know. It's just because like generally like directors are these big egos, I guess you could say, like,
Mhm.
and they're kind of, but then people kind of take it as like, oh, they're these fucking forces within cinema, and
A
like
force to be
everything,
reckoned
yeah,
with.
everything they make is like,
God.
it's like touched by a god type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really have
Can't
that.
do any-
I don't deny that they're brilliance in their field, but like I don't like, I don't know. I don't think I raise them up as like they kind of are in a lot of circles. Like same thing with artists. I'm like, artists are fucking artists. Like they make amazing work, and then like you learn about them and you might appreciate the work more. Just like, you
But
know,
no, that's why I was saying, could an artist become a director
Often
and then
they
just
do.
creative direct their vision? Which is why I drew the correlation.
you can see
between
like Harmony
George Lucas
Korine
or Murakami
is like a very much, he was an artist,
or Andy Warhol,
and then he's a director. He makes films. But yeah, I mean, like I think so.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what
That's-
Banksy does.
right?
Whoever Banksy,
Or even like a Shepard Fairey.
yeah,
Yeah, he's still
It's not
makes
like
go
we're
work,
from
but he's
touching
like, yeah.
everything.
nah, but you go from
It's
the
just like
artist to the director
Cole
of
Bennett
your.
from Lyrical Lemonade. Lyrical Lemonade is his name. It's associated with Cole Bennett, but
I
he
would
don't
love Lemonade right now.
You know, he don't direct nor edit or shoot everything
Make
with
something
that.
similar to that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Are you listening, watching, reading, feeling, touching?
I've just been kind of, I guess you could say touching. This is going to bring back to my, is this my specialty? I'm like the sex guy maybe, perhaps.
I was going to say, where's the sex?
Well, I
recordings?
actually, because I got to meet hang out with like Aaliyah, Marlene's friend. He's the director. He said that he would write me a script for like the erotic audio stuff.
Dope.
It's gonna be a team. Maybe we should make like an erotic audio production team because like you'll master it and stuff. So all these hands touching on
I
it.
could edit it. I could record it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I got to send in the audition for it. But on that note, you guys heard of the G Spot, right?
Is it a club?
Yeah, I mean, I like talking about like real thing
Or the
fake-
actual like the sexual
Yes.
part on a
Yeah,
woman's
for sure.
Yes.
the G Spot. Have you heard of the A Spot?
Is that in a guy or something?
No, that's no, it's only on a vagina.
I've
No.
never heard of the A spot.
Is it deeper than the G spot?
It's
Or to the left?
G Spot's like it's somewhat shallow right there. The A Spot is like all the way back there.
Oh, I've been in the A spot.
It's crazy. I mean, like I kind of like
It's crazy.
just discovered it.
No, you feel it. You get that. It's like the saloon doors open up after you've already been in the club. Like it goes deeper.
Wait,
Well, that's like a very somewhat apt comparison. But like, yeah, it's like you can only hit it from certain angles because it's like right next
It's
to
like the
this.
speakeasy.
It's like right.
Not everyone knows it's
I mean,
there.
fuck, man, that's you're crazy.
Not
I don't
everyone
think
knows
you-
it's there, but it's in plain sight.
Well, I guess, but you like
I'll just say no.
this is not.
Not everyone knows it's there. Not everyone can go into there.
Not everybody is on the
Access.
list to
Not everyone
get
has
in.
access.
into
no one
the
has
speakeasy.
access to get to that
Like,
spot.
and you can only hit it from certain angles.
Small spot.
Yeah. But it's and like because it's right next to the cervix, it could be like
painful
you don't hit
or
it.
not.
Yeah, it could be painful for
Yeah,
them.
You can miss it or
yeah,
you can hit
and
it.
you hit the wrong door. You go through the wrong door or something like that. But I just like I was like researching last night. You'd say,
Is that what you call it?
yeah, it's for science. I'm trying to spread this awareness throughout and like
Hands on.
like she was saying it's like a different sensation. And then I was like, is that a spot? Is that like a known spot? And I was like, hey, can you Google like, is there another spot besides the G spot?
Whilst researching.
It's called the A spot. I think it's known as
The A team. The pit of the fool.
the anterior fornix. It's a very interesting thing, but I was like, holy shit.
No, I frequent that club.
Yeah.
I'm
You
on
got
the list.
VIP pass,
I'm on
don't
the
you?
list. Yeah, I got face card.
And I'm like not saying anything about myself, but I think like if you're a certain height and below, you cannot get entrance to that.
It's like riding Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, you can't
you're
be
not
4 foot and below. You cannot
if you're
gain
not
entrance
this tall.
The fucking things will not hold you in. Those like on the roller
You will
coaster.
not be held into the ride.
Yeah.
I cannot guarantee your safety.
Yeah. So
No, I didn't know. That's crazy. But you explaining it, I've experienced feelings that's like, why is this like anaconda is constricting all of a sudden?
like yeah,
Deep.
it's like yeah, it's
Yeah.
deep in the Amazon. Like shit. Like not everybody sails their boat down
it's
that
not
river.
like, it's like, what's going on?
My anaconda don't.
Want none unless you got buns, hun.
I feel like I know this spot.
Well, I've never
But
like
I would have never called it a spot. 'Cause
yeah,
I would have.
I've never felt it until
Yeah.
until dating Marlene and then it has a name. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
That's dope.
And
Sweet.
that's
Is that your share?
my share for the week.
I still haven't gotten the waterproof.
You need to.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, man.
Amazon, the towel don't work, bruh.
Bro, well, it's like I mean, if you're
I'm
talking
gonna have to throw away my fucking.
if you're talking about sustainability, you don't want to keep wasting water by washing a single towel every time, or even a bunch of towels. They actually have a sex.
No, but
thing.
it's also so degrading to be like, go get the towel. I know what we're about to do. Waterworks.
Or no, it's like
In the morning, I
the
don't
towel,
get that
baby.
far.
Okay, it works both ways.
Yeah.
It works both
You know?
ways.
Go
I like
get
that.
the
But there
I
is
like that.
a thing I saw. I think it's on Amazon, but it's like
tub.
it's like a fur, like it's like a blanket, but it's waterproof. It's like
It's a
the same
waterproof
thing.
duvet.
So you don't have to wash the whole
plastic
fucking
bag?
the whole mattress cover. It's a sex blanket.
You just run out and get a trash bag and cut it real quick. There you go, babe.
You need it to wick though and absorb. You don't need it to just deflect.
Yeah, no, it's got a layer of fabric, absorbative. I have maybe look into one or something, but
Wait, is it made for this?
yeah,
It's gotta be.
What's it called?
I don't know, but look up sex blanket.
I mean, if it's not sex blanket, look up like fucking dog pisses on bed blanket.
I think that's different.
It's the same purpose.
Generally
15 best sex blankets for clean intimacy.
And then like I would suggest like
Oh wow, these look like yoga mats.
Well, one of them, the one I'm saying, it's just a circle, which is like great because there's splash zone. You know,
Splash
if you're
zone.
standing within
no
this
splash
thing, we'll get wet.
zone.
That's-
No splash
I like that.
zone.
I like that. That's,
You know
And you guys
better.
fucked around with like those like sex pillows, like the wedges.
I have before.
No, I have not.
Not
Those are-
recently, but yes, I have before.
Those are dope.
Yeah, they work.
How does that work?
It's like you work smarter, not harder. It's like
you hit that
because
spot without having to
Yeah.
work
It gives
for
you
it.
leverage?
Yeah.
Or it gives you like
so
you're
like
up
because
on it somehow?
sometimes you have to expend a lot of like
Energy?
effort to like
To
either
hold
lift
yourself,
or
yeah.
like
So it's
get the
propping you up
angle.
in ways
Yeah,
where you need. Yeah,
and
yeah,
so it's
okay.
like you have to do less work.
Got it. It's like one of those pregnancy blankets or pillows.
But like she's propped up.
Yeah, she's propped up.
I get it.
Yeah, it just like angles everything better. Less work.
Would you go to a sex club?
I'd go.
Yeah.
Like, wait, is that like where
Like
you're
to watch
watching
people have
or
sex?
like having sex?
No, to
Oh,
be
to
a
have-
patron.
So to,
Oh,
to have the,
like
like red light.
Mm-hmm.
I would like go. I'd go as an observer.
Yeah, I probably would. I think so.
I've always been
Like
interested.
Amsterdam.
I like you know.
Yeah.
The Bunny Ranch.
I think if I was not in a relationship
think
and
I'd
like
wanna do
I,
it
I
with
would be
Lamar
interested.
Odom. I don't know.
I think I'd want to do it outside my
I
country.
don't
so
want to
I can
have
make
heart
it-
problems like Lamar Odom.
I could make it sound a little bit more.
It doesn't
like,
sound any different. It still sounds exactly how it sounds.
Nuh-uh, because if I come home from like, oh, I was in Amsterdam, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I went to red light, rather than like, yeah, last weekend I drove out to the bunny ranch. It's like not the same.
No,
I
you'd
would
say
do
like
Mexico.
oh,
It's no different.
I'd be like,
still
oh,
feel the
I went
same way.
to-
That's- Fuck the bitch
I
in
went.
Mexico.
I went to Nevada. I played some
different.
slots, but with not the slots you're thinking about.
But with my penis.
I could see that. I guess.
It's all about how you word it. You're all about semantics. What are you talking about?
But that's what I'm saying. I'd be down. It's cool. Whatever. Float your boat.
I mean, it's a
Keep
lot.
that boat afloat.
I don't know what the financial difference in costs of like red light versus
Green
Bunny
light.
Ranch.
I'm sure it's all relative. It's not too.
Well,
crazy.
when I was in a
young child.
A
I
young
don't know, this is a
buck?
long time ago, but I heard like one of my friends went there and he said it was like 200 euros. I'm like
full service.
for I don't
At the
don't
Bunny
remember.
Ranch?
No,
I think
probably
it was-
overseas, right?
I'm guessing
Yeah,
it's euros.
yeah, 200 euros for I think it was penetrative sex. 200 euros. I was like, that sounds cheap. That sounds weird. But it was in red light, so you know, like there's healthcare, there's like
Yeah.
you're safe, but
Yeah.
like that's crazy. I didn't know. I thought it'd be like I figured at the Bunny Ranch it'd be like $1,500 or something.
I feel
don't
like
know how it
that's
goes.
too,
That's what we would think. Yeah, you're like, is he selling you shit? How much you charge?
I feel like that like they would also just like freak it, and so like you'd go in there and be like in and out.
Yeah, you're probably paying for
They're
like 30
fucking,
minutes to
like,
an hour. They're like
specialists.
professionals.
Yeah,
They know what they're doing.
They're
Specialist.
specialists, man. It's not like you're going in there being like, this is some normal. Like,
Some
you know.
regular degular.
Yeah, no. Like, here's 200.
Wouldn't that be
Five.
funny though? You go in there, you're like, you got the waterproof blankie?
This is a respectable business. Of course, we have the waterproof blankie.
That's all I want.
That's all I need.
That's all I care about.
They have those in the commercial washing machines because then that would be like disinfectant and shit. Like because you know you're going through those.
They just
things.
go in there with hazmat and just torch each
Yeah, you
room
just
after.
steam clean everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And there you go.
I think that's. I think we covered most everything.
Basically, I think everything that needs to be covered.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for the pod this week.
Yeah, you guys should all go out there to the Bunny Ranch and then ride in and tell us.
Yeah,
about
let
it.
us know what that's
or
about.
Burning Man.
Or yeah, ooh, I would love some Burning Man riding.
Burning Man, Bunny Ranch, Red Light. If you guys have any experiences, like I'd love to hear about them.
Yeah, if you're Russian, tell us about what your news is like.
Yeah,
You know, give us the inside scoop. If you like Subway, you should try something else. I don't know.
I don't know that. Was it Italian bread or something? I remember I used to have something over there. It was like the onion chicken, whatever, honey mustard chicken.
Remember
it was
when
good.
Subway used to be good?
It
know,
never
it's been a
was,
while.
but it was. But we used to always get before going to Disneyland.
It was bad then, but I'm saying before then when it was good, when they had the braided bread. Remember that as a kid?
Yeah, but I still don't know if it was. I don't know.
You're right.
Because that's also the same time when
McDonald's was good.
and El Pollo Loco.
I used to think Wiener Schnitzel was good. So
Yeah.
it's all relative,
we can
baby.
agree McDonald's was different back then.
Oh
Yeah.
well, like those fries, like when we were kids, the fries because they were fried in beef tallow. That shit was like.
Oh, so it is a difference.
It was different. Now it's vegetable oil, but that was like in the
healthy,
late 90s.
not healthy.
It's all not healthy. Well,
No-
that's
no
what is that? That's seed oils and such, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Sunflower
corn oil. Whatever.
Or is it peanut oil?
I heard peanut oil is the way to go if you're gonna.
I heard it's healthier, but
That's why they get you with that the Chick-fil-A
Is that peanut oil?
peanut oil.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's why they hype peanut oil, and we don't like homosexuals.
That's what Chick-fil-A
what does
is
that
all
have to do with
about.
peanuts?
I don't know, but ask
They
Chick-fil-A.
connected.
Oh, it's they right. They private.
And their son, but you said that they should be open on a Sunday,
I would like them to.
but you wouldn't even eat it.
It's just the principle of the thing.
It's just the principle.
If everybody else is open, you should too.
Well, I guess everybody, if you have any of those aforementioned stories, maybe some chicken sandwich restaurant recommendations, you can email us at almostneverpod@gmail.com.
Even a
Send
story
us-
about wanting to get a chicken sandwich on Sunday and not being able to would be great.
Ooh, that'd
Yeah.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Or
you
it's-
bought tickets
yeah.
to Fyre Fest, shame on you, but let us know.
Yeah, let us know how that goes. Hit us
Let
up
us
on
know.
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, Spotify. Thank you, Trey. We have all our audio files up on Apple and Spotify, so you can listen. You don't gotta look at us while we talk.
But we would actually like you to look at us if it's available.
I think you do both. You know, maybe play both at the same time, sync it up, so we can get 2 plays at once. Maybe 3 plays if you're multitasker.
And
They're
you-
up.
And if y'all want to take just some homework for next week, find out where Damian Lillard's going, because
No one knows.
No one knows. No one knows.
Do you think Harden's coming to the Clippers?
No,
Probably not.
no.
I'd like to.
Y'all, thanks for watching.
Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
Y'all have a great week. Mwah.